Welcome everybody to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Well, we think we know everything, but we really don't know shit. Today, some of the things we're going to be talking about are OTAs and what's going on with this whole stadium. Is the city of Chicago back in play? Rumor is that it is. And Naperville? Man, Naperville? I don't know. I don't know about Naperville. Or is this all just a ploy to sit up there and try to get things to go the Bears' way over there in Arlington Heights, where they bought all that $200 million worth of land. And now they may back out of it. Well, not back out of it. I might not even sit up there and build a stadium there. And very interesting. Very interesting. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Heard Justin and DJ Moore are really connecting in OTAs. Oh, and a special guest came back to the OTAs today. Jalen Johnson, Double J. Man, I guess he got tired of sitting out. Or as a public, we don't really know what was the reason why he's not there. We do know that our guard that we just paid for has not been to OTAs yet. So we see how things go. But all that and more, and plus a special guest tonight on the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Hit it.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up and coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
Once again, welcome to the Chicago's Clubhouse Podcast. All right. So we're going to have a special guest on, Mike the Bear fan. He will be on. We're going to talk some Bears news. We might dabble into a little bit of the Chicago Bulls as well. Word is that they did a little poll or something. They said the Bulls have the worst GM and the worst GM situation. So, I don't know. Then we're going to have our boy Frank the Tank come on, have a little Hawk talk. Sox are doing good. We ain't going to really spend too much time talking on baseball. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in the All-Star squad. First up, the man that knows all the stats from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. My man, JB, the stat man.
Brethren, what's happening?
What's going on, brother? I got to turn up my volume on this thing.
Gotcha. Now, I'm doing cool, man. Just, chilling. Glad to be here. It's Tuesday. We always look forward to chopping it up.
Yeah, always. Man, what's going on with the Bears and this whole stadium you did? I'm thinking okay, they going to ball Arlington. Everybody talking about Arlington. We about to sit up there and have a new stadium in a couple of years. And now Kevin Warren came in, said pump the brakes on that. The mayor of Chicago, even though he's not really saying it, but word is that he's trying to get Chicago back in the mix. What's up, my man Bullets? So, man, what you think about all that so far?
I'm going to be honest with you. I just feel that it's a power move in play right now because they were just so gung-ho to jump down on what they thought was going to be everything that Arlington wanted to be. But then they started thinking about it. And then with the new mayor, Brandon Johnson, when he came in, unlike Mayor Lightfoot, he from here. He do that. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Johnson used to work for Chicago Public Schools, part of the CTU. He might have a couple of tricks up his sleeves to where, the Bears might be like, hold on, let's revisit this. What you got brewing? Or it could just be something as, well, let me go ahead and put 1 against 2, put the Chicago back into play to try to drive the price down for Arlington. That it could be just one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see how this is going to go. Me personally, I don't want them to lead the city of Chicago. The business side of me understands the reason why they want to lead the city of Chicago. I mean, who wouldn't want their own stadium where you're getting all the revenue instead of sitting up there sharing it with the city of Chicago? And if they're not doing a Bears event, not having a Bears game, they get no revenue. They get nothing. So,
well, that's the thing. Like Bullets just said, they trying to do the Bears dirty, just get the deal done so they can generate billions for the community. It's a win-win. And I agree with you, Bullets. Something in me, you remember I told you, Foul, a long time ago. I said, if you were running Chicago, you know that you can't afford to lose that money that the Bears bring in because that's owned by the Park District. You knew that. Why don't they just go ahead and tear down Old McCormick Place and build a state-of-the-art dome stadium over there? You can't tear down Soldier Field. You can't. It's a landmark.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to tear down that either. I mean, I guess the McCormicks own it, and I don't think they're going to be willing to sell or even...
Well, they don't do anything over in that old building. To my knowledge, it's just there.
Hey.
So, who knows? But I'm telling you what, I'm interested in seeing where this goes because now we don't just have a business guy making decisions for the Bears. We don't have a hedge fund guy. We actually have a football guy and a fan. True fan.
That's true.
That could be very telling.
That's true. Well, we're going to get into more of that later on tonight, too. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in the other member of the All-Star team, the Dream Team. Our man, he's a tank. We call him Frank. Frank, the Tank.
Bam. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Right now.
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm still waiting for our guest. I didn't hear anything from him. Hopefully he'll be on soon for everybody who's watching right now. But hey, hearing you guys coming in, and I don't think they're gonna resell Arlington because that's what they're talking about. Because I think how you guys were saying that the city of Chicago is doing the Bears wrong. I feel Arlington Heights right now is trying to do the Bears wrong too. Because I don't think Arlington mayor wants them to come there. Don't know why.
The mayor
don't really know why. A lot of people are saying they didn't want them to come there, or maybe the city of Chicago is trying to force Arlington Heights to make it a living hell for them. Like I don't know what the hell's going on right now, but I mean, supposedly they're saying for Arlington Heights they're raising the property value on it a lot, which is pissing the Bears off that they're doing it. So now I feel like they're going to talk to Naperville just to tell Arlington to shut up and stop trying to keep doing this to us.
Frank, let me ask you this: since you're down the street, they already purchased the land, right?
Yes, they did. I mean, they could purchase the land. It doesn't mean they can't resell it.
Okay, because what I was thinking was
somebody will easily rebuy that. They'll lose money on it, obviously.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Did they, for whatever reason, did they purchase it in haste, and now they're going through their logs like, oh, maybe this is not a good move?
I mean, you think about it, like when they were talking about them moving to Arlington Heights, how long was it since they bought it? Like a month? Like they bought it like immediately without even doing. They could have been doing research on it for over the few years or something like that too. But it was like the first time we heard of it, at least.
Yeah, well,
But I mean, with them saying going to Naperville, Naperville's 5 minutes from my house. Like Arlington's only like 15 minutes from my house. But what the hell are you gonna get in Naperville? Like, I love Naperville. Don't get me wrong, but there's no open area like you have the racetrack at Arlington Heights. You'd have to tear down so much crap. To build something.
They got to buy some more stuff, buy some people out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Maybe it's some big old warehouse out there or some.
But I just think it comes down to the Bears don't care how much money that they spent. They just want to make sure that they are upright for the future.
Yeah,
That's what they want. They don't
and
care.
that's a smart way to look at it. From a business standpoint, you want to sit up there. You're gonna have to invest money in order to make money, and I think they really want to find a place where they can sit up there and make a stadium where they can generate all that revenue from the games, bring in concerts, all other type of events into that particular stadium, so that they can make money. You know, I
Exactly.
mean, the Bears are. Well, I think they're top. I know they're at least a top 10 franchise as far as when it comes to work in the
They were
NFL.
top 6 as far as
Yeah,
most of it. And the fact
and
that they
that's
didn't even
without
own stadium.
right. That's without having their own
Yeah.
stadium.
They'll
Also, I
easily
read,
be a top 3 if they have their own stadium. Easily.
yeah, and I also read that even not the commissioner. I'm sorry, former Big Ten commissioner and now president of the Chicago Bears, Kevin Warren, he came in and said, even though he was getting a job, he was still telling people to pump the brakes on the Arlington Heights things because he said it was going to at least take him about 6 months to really dab into, looking into all the logistics and everything about being there, building the stadium, the infrastructure and everything, how it's going to play out as far as money wise, and more importantly, getting people out there to come to the sporting events and come to the Bears game.
Yeah.
Because like we said, it ain't like in Chicago where there's so many ways to come in. They're not really built to host all those type of people. That many
So
people.
then that was a flaw that Ted Phillips was a part of before he got out of here. Man, he didn't do his homework, because that's one thing. If Naperville is, let's just say, if Naperville is on a plan B, let's say, what does Naperville have to offer that would make the Bears even think about that?
Yeah.
Is it something about lower taxes? Is it something about when they're building? Is it something about how they want a certain thing? Because what I remember is when this first came to pass, the group that built what they call the Death Star, which is Alliance Stadium in Vegas, where the Raiders play. That group is supposedly was supposed to build the Bears new stadium. Was there something logistical with that they couldn't, that they couldn't build what they wanted on that land? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something is kind of strange about it, but to go to Naperville, where we all know you go to Naperville, it's a bunch of shopping centers, malls, warehouses, restaurants. Like, where, to Jeremy's point, where would you put it?
Yeah. I would have no idea, honestly, because there is not even an area that is somewhat open where you could,
Only thing I can think of, what, Frank, is like a AAA, AA baseball team that doesn't use their stadium anymore.
I don't even know anything that's in Naperville, honestly. I'd have to search that stuff.
I'm literally throwing darts at the wall trying to see what hits, because I don't know.
I don't know at all. That's why I know, Frank, like you said, you were 5 minutes away, so you would damn sure be the fourth most expert as far as when it comes down to what's going on in Naperville. What the hell is in Naperville? Because
there's just a lot of buildings and businesses.
Yeah, people say there's no land there. There's nothing there where they can sit up and build. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna buy people out and sit up there and say, "Yeah, we'll buy your homes. We'll buy this property, and you get the hell or get the fuck out, and we're gonna build the Bears Stadium here or something." I don't know.
Bullets just said there's a forest preserve that has space, but it is a preserve. It's most likely protected. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
more than likely,
they can't build on that property.
Yeah, I'll have to research it for the next show to see where it would even
federally protected, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay, they could open it up right next to a Gordon Ramsay could move into the stadium, right?
I just think, they might be picking the straws at this point, fellas, because there's no reason, unless, like you said, the mayor of Arlington doesn't want them there, or the mayor of Arlington is trying to, get more money than, was previously, agreed upon, or whatever the case may be. And remember, guys, this is still like a 5-year build. This is not something that's going to happen next year or the year after. It's going to take time. And if that infrastructure would be what, $290? that the highway to go out there would be 290.
Yeah.
Shit, don't ask me. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
290.
I think, yeah. So,
And if you're coming in from the city, yeah, it'd still be 290.
So 290, you got to get the Metro system right so that the Metro can ride out there. You know, it's not just, hey, build a stadium and they will come. It's not that easy anymore. You know, you got to take into consideration a lot of other factors. And here's the other thing. Like I told you, with Brandon Johnson being the new mayor, is he trying to work a deal that could be beneficial that Kevin Warren wants to listen to? We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that is facts. We don't know. He hasn't like I said, stated earlier, he hasn't publicly came out and said that they are supposed to be meeting. But he did say early on when he first got elected that he did want to sit down and talk to the Bears brass and have conversations about keeping the Chicago Bears here in the city of Chicago.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with him doing his due diligence in that. I have no problem with that. I think that majority of Bears fans would love to sit up there and see the Chicago Bears stay here in Chicago. But one question that I do have, and is more so of a concern, is even if they do stay here, let's just say hypothetically, they sit up there and decide they're going to stay at Soldier Field. They work something out with the city, whatnot. What the fuck are they going to do with that turf? I mean,
it's got to go.
Is it going to be, are they going to tear it up and, you know, bring in artificial shit, whatever it is that they got going on in most NFL teams? Well, I wouldn't say most, but majority of NFL teams are sitting up here trying to use now. Or are they going to bring in a different type of grass, or they're going to keep it what it is? Because to me, if you're going to get a new stadium, there's no point in keeping that motherfucking grass the way it is.
Absolutely not. But you just touched on something they've already tried. If you all remember, Coach Eberflus asked for a different grass, and they brought in a different grass last year. It's not so much the grass that they use; it's just the surface.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it's
the grass did help. I did hear from like a lot less negative stuff on Soldier Field's grass this past year.
A little bit better, but right now you have a speedy team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get that turf. Go ahead and get that field turf. Don't want to put it down there.
Yeah, Trey.
Trey is 100%
right. Talking about them. I mean, not them. Obviously, we've gone and seen the plans for them to build, you know what I'm saying, to renovate Soldier Field yet again.
I don't think you can. I thought that isn't that what they can.
That's
like
not true.
I thought they said like that they could not add to it.
That's not true. The people that most recently built it said that they can't add to it. There were other people that came up with a new design that said you can expand out as far as the like the mall area and all the bells and whistles, but you can go up. So
they're not 61,000, aren't they? Only 49?
No, they're about 60. They're about 62.
Are they 60? Okay, it could be.
And then I think I read the most.
It was the lowest capacity in the NFL, though.
The 1 year they were trying to get a Super Bowl, they had said the only thing they could do was add extra seating on one side, which would have only barely got it to 70. So there you go. That's what I said, Bullets. The same people that built the Death Star.
Yeah. And they're saying they want at least at 89,000 capacity stadium for the Bears.
So again, like I told you, what they did with Lucas Oil, you know, Lucas Oil goes up.
Yeah,
it goes up. So maybe that's something that, you know, a different designer or a different you know, architectural group can sit there and because I think we looked in our group chat, right? We saw what the design of what the one with the big picture window in front, like it looked real nice.
Well, it looked dope as hell, but
you know, remember the escalator and all that? Yeah. Like it looked really nice. Again, like I said, if you can get to that 80, 89, 85, but the best thing that I saw was the first thing they did was they took that stupid spaceship thing looking off and they actually put a real dome on it.
Yeah.
A retractable.
I think the one that we were looking at, I think that was retractable, right?
It was retractable.
Yes, yeah. It was.
But I mean, is the city of Chicago really willing to do that? Is the question. They've been screwing over the Bears for how long now? would they actually be doing that? Or is that just trying to get them to convince to stay? And then all of a sudden they'll talk about it every year, but they won't do it.
Well,
and then they'll lose out on their chance to go to Arlington.
Well, no. Remember, here's the problem. The Bears rent. Hey, Antonio. The Bears rent Soldier Field right now. The problem is, if you are the brand new mayor of Chicago, after coming after Lightfoot, who was just kind of can you afford to just lose $10-12 million? Can you afford to?
They're going to be in big trouble.
So remember, it's not about next year; it's about the projections for the years after you're in you're in office. Because what's been put in place now, this is still Lightfoot stuff.
Well, so you're right.
He's got a chance.
But the question is, are the Bears willing to build, or is Chicago willing to build this, but are they willing to give it to the Bears?
Again, here's the thing.
The Bears, you can do whatever that you want in Chicago. If you don't give the stadium ownership to the Bears where they profit the money off of it, they're not going to stay.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, they do make profit. They do. It's just they're renting. And there it is, Bullets. There it is. But I don't think they're going to it's actually Chicago Park District, not CPS, Chicago Park District. If they do sell it, which I doubt, but let's just say for the sake of this conversation, what is the asking price? Does it have to be somewhere near what they already paid for Arlington? And I don't know what they paid for the land in Arlington, but if they say, well, I'm just throwing out a number, we'll give you $250 million.
Well, they paid $22 million for Arlington.
Okay, so we'll give that's not enough.
And that's not a lot. I thought it was actually a lot more than that.
No, that's not enough. Because remember, the Bears pay, I think, if somebody out there knows and can look it up for sure, I want to make sure my facts are straight. But I think they pay somewhere between $8 to $12 million a year to basically rent Soldier Field.
Yeah, that's insane.
But then, hold on. If you had a Beyonce concert and you were the Bears, if you had the World Championship soccer and you're the Bears,
yeah, Taylor Swift, who was just there.
Oh yeah.
If you have March Madness, if you domed it off and put change the front and have March Madness like Lucas Oil does, that's the money. Right. That's the money.
Bullets, good call on that one. I was way off. He is right. It's $197 million.
Okay, I'm about to say it couldn't have been 22. That sounds a little.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. 22 is stuck in my head.
That's
Mike the Bear fan, dude. I thought you were our guest tonight, Chief. I sent you an invite. Did you not get it?
And there it is, Jeremy. The Bears still owe Chicago $640 million. That's it right there. Now you're playing ball. You see? Now you're playing ball.
All right, Mike, just let me know when you get on, man. I sent you the invite. Hop on when you can, Chief.
Thanks, Mike, for chiming in. We appreciate it. See you soon, brother. But that's where I said, it's got to be something that nobody thought about or nobody knew about. I didn't know I thought it was a year-to-year thing. I didn't know that the Bears owed $640 million to the city of Chicago.
Yeah, that's because, like you said, they got that contract, and that contract runs out. And I forgot what year.
I thought it ran out soon.
It was 2030, I think.
I thought it ran out soon.
Yeah, I thought the stadium thing ended with Chicago was 2030. But they saw the opportunity with Arlington Heights being on the market, and they weren't letting that pass.
So that brings up another point, fellas. So did Ted Phillips hastily renew a contract that he knew was bad? Or two, does some of that $640 million come into play because you're breaking the contract early?
Nah, from what I was reading, they can break the contract. It wasn't no $640 million that they would actually sit up there and have to pay.
No, I think like what Trey just said right here, they're allowed to break the contract in 2026.
Yeah.
That's when they're allowed.
But at what cost? I mean, you can break a lease, but you still got to pay.
No, they're still going to pay.
Lots of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
For sure.
I forgot how much it is. I forgot how much they would have to pay, up until the time.
Google, here we come.
Up until the time that the contract is officially over. I forgot how much it was for them to sit up there and buy that out. But yeah, like Trey said, they're not.
Bullets just posted it 60. So okay, for all you math majors out there, are you telling me right now that $64 million?
All right, I see 84. I'm looking at right now. payment plus in 2026 of $84 million that they have to pay.
So let's say somewhere between $64 and $84 million. Are you telling me that little bit of change to the Bears is what's stopping them from all of a sudden halting Arlington? I don't think so.
No, they were going to do that anyway. They
hey,
had
that's my point. They were gonna. That was in the books already.
Yeah, they already knew that they were going to build that stadium. That stadium was going to be built and ready to be played on before their contract runs out at Soldier Field. So they already knew whatever it was.
Yeah, absolutely. The league, because they do revenue sharing, so they were going to get a.
Yeah, the league would help, because especially since they are so beloved on the Bears organization, they would help.
No, that's what they do. The league always helps new, but the thing is, some teams ask for the city to buy the new stadium. Some cities say we'll pay a portion of the stadium cost, and the franchise pays the rest. We don't, and then the league, what the league kicks in, is not as great. But my point being, with that said, is we don't know that what that number is right now is stopping Arlington Heights, but could possibly be putting Chicago back in the game. It ain't no $64 million. I'll tell you that. That's not a big enough deficit to keep them from going to Arlington Heights. It's just not. No. And you said, Frank, what they pay? You said $197 million for Arlington. So now we're talking around $197 million, 255, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
This is just for
and that's
land.
Without building. That's just for land. But again, the Bears don't care about money. They got the freaking money. They're willing to spend the money.
No. Absolutely, they have money. Yeah. That's not the question. I'm talking about the economic part of it, the entrepreneurship part about it. Because now it's something where that you're telling me, like if I rent from Chris right now, and then Chris tell me, well, shoot, JB, I don't want this no more, man. Go on, rent to own. Rent to own. I'm intrigued because I was about to go to Frank and buy his house. So now Fowl won't want to stop me.
How much you paying?
But that's my point. Fowl is going to try to entice me to not leave him and leave the income that I'm giving him to go buy from you. We're going to come up with a deal so that you can still put a couple of dollars in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's what I feel that the city is doing right now. And Brandon Johnson is very, very smart for doing that.
Well, you know what? That you are absolutely right. It's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes. A lot of games are being played, and to hear another person's thoughts about it, let's go ahead and bring in our special guest, Mike the Bear fan.
What's up, Mike?
Mike, what's happening?
What's going on, fellas?
Drive home safe from work, I'm hoping. You didn't rush home from work, did you?
Oh, dude, I work seasonal pretty much, so this is my seasonal top job, so this is what I got to do. Sometimes I don't know what time I get off most of the time, but
try turning your phone a little bit to get the full widescreen. There we go.
Perfect.
So we already chimed in a little bit talking about the stadium. What's your take on it now that all this is going on? Because I think mostly all of us agree that it's just the Bears trying to get Arlington to lower the property value, probably. Do something.
I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think they're going to go in Naperville. You guys were saying there ain't really nowhere to go. You know what I mean? It's not big enough. And Arlington is big enough. It's just, like you said, the property taxes. They only want to, pay $30 million in taxes instead of $300 million or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but I mean, it's just hardball. I personally think it's going to go. Like you said, it takes 5 years. It's just a money thing. I don't see them staying in Chicago. They've battled for years. They have not taken up with the field very good. It's like trash. You know what I mean? In my view, I've been to a lot of games, and a lot of players say the same thing when they come to Chicago.
We talk about that all the time with people.
We need to host a Super Bowl. We need to host a draft. We need bigger and better. I don't think structure-wise they can build bigger and better to hold that capacity. You know what I mean? And I don't think the Park District is going to sell out. That's just my opinion. They've always had a percentage of the Bears, which they get a lot of money from the Bears. And the McCaskey family's been in here the longest forever, so they want a piece of it. Yeah, they only bought for $100 or whatnot, you know what I mean? They're worth billions now, but they want less people's hand in the cookie jar. then they can do other things. You know what I mean? But that's my opinion.
And it is nice to say that they are really trying to get with this generation. Even the old McCaskies are trying to get out of the dinosaur ages and actually get a stadium that, no offense, people do want to travel to come to. Because what they're trying to do in Arlington, like, my God, man, that thing is going to be a beautiful stadium where
it's going to be in the top 3. I'll tell you that. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys know, but Green Bay, I believe they're on number 3 or 4. And the only reason is they won't switch their seating. They'll keep the bleachers because if not, they lose like 10, 15,000 fans.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
I knew they had done like their third, like you said. They were
I go to quite a few games. My best friend's Bill the Packer fan, so we go back and forth each year to what games we're going to. So,
yeah, it's great. And you know what? I didn't even know until recently, like, they do have bleachers there at Lambeau Field. I never knew that. I thought it was just regular seats. I didn't know
they're like old monument type stadiums.
Yeah, right? And part of the sections, depending on your seat, it's heated. So even if you go in the winter, you get heat at your feet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's not that bad. Good. You know what I mean? You go to Chicago, you're freezing. You better be pumped up and hyped up.
Beyond freezing. You have to drink a lot to prevent from that cold lakefront hitting you in the face, man.
One game we went to with Mike Brown made an interception. By the time we got the hot chocolate back to the seats, it was frozen.
I had that when Michael Vick was still a Falcon. When I was at that, it was negative 37 with wind chill. And I was up in the nosebleeds facing the lake, and I knew it was going to be cold, so I dressed warm, and I was all right. But I did screw up and only had one pair of socks on. My toes were done.
Wait, have you been in the 400 sections in Chicago?
Yeah. No, I've never been all the way to the top.
It's basically it's maxed out for steepness and everything. Like, I'm a roofer. I go high up and stuff, but when you go up into those 400 sections, man, it's like sitting on the side of a cliff when nobody's around. It's up there, and it's steep. It is very steep.
Right. So I was wondering, Mike, because I think someone said it on here that they were talking about as far as if they were to stay at Soldier Field, I guess they would have to build up to get those, I guess, close to 89,000 because they couldn't really move it out. So it had to continue to go up. So
right. That's what I was saying.
I'm like, damn, are we trying to talk to God up there? Or
Well, how many seats did you say we had? Like 42. So that's like
60,000.
Like 60,000. Yeah, 62.
Yeah.
So you're trying to bring 20,000 more fans. Where are they going to go?
Straight up.
Heaven, I guess.
I'm just saying it's tough to get hotel rooms and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's just. It could happen. I mean, it could happen. Any architect can come in. I mean, it could happen. I just don't see it because I think the McCaskies want control of their stadium, everything else, just like most of the other teams. And I personally don't think the Park District will sell out, buy out, because they make a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, one thing too, to regards with the Park District and everything, because I was one of those people who used to tailgate everything. Every single game, even when I didn't even have tickets, I would go and tailgate and watch it outside the stadium. Park District doesn't let you do that shit anymore. It's pathetic.
Yeah,
it used to open up at 5 a.m. I was there at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get the best spot. Like, we're immediately cooking bacon, eggs, and drinking beer 5 o'clock in the morning. And then once it hit noon, we'd have a group of like 45, 50 people come with us, and only 2 people had tickets. And we would we'd put a big screen TV in a giant white van with a generator and would watch the game outside the stadium. And the thing was, there were thousands of people who still did that. Like, it was so much fun. And the Park District now, it opens up at 9 o'clock. The game starts at noon. You have to leave right away.
Well, they started doing it. They started doing that once COVID hit, right? After COVID.
No, that was like 2008. Yeah, that was 2008, I think, is when that started. Because it was like the NFC Championship game with the Saints. Like, there were some issues outside the stadium where there were literally like people renting motorhomes, bringing them and paying people for lap dances and everything. Like, it got pretty crazy out there. Well, I ain't lying.
Well, you know one thing. We know one thing about the city of Chicago. It's very corrupt. And if they ain't getting their hands in none of that money,
Mm-hmm.
then they gonna stop that shit. And that's exactly what it sounds like. What happened? They ain't getting their cut, so they just decided to end it. One thing I will say is that I have total belief that, I mean, let's look at it. Chicago is the second city. When the city got burnt down, they brought in architects from all over the world to build what we see now. And I have no doubt that they wouldn't do a great job of having someone come in and help redesign Soldier Field. But more importantly, is there anywhere in the Chicago, in the city of Chicago, not the Chicagoland area, but in the city of Chicago, where they could possibly build a Chicago Bears stadium?
Yes.
I know you want to tear the spot down.
No, I'm not even. See, I'm not even talking about McCormick Place, but think centrally located. Where are they going to put the Olympics?
Well, Washington Park.
You tell me that's not big enough for a stadium?
Oh, that's
I mean, it is, but then again, you're still talking about dealing with the Chicago Park District.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. It's still the same assholes running
it. They got you either way.
Yeah,
it is still the same assholes running it.
And then I think even then you will probably have to deal with the University of Chicago too, because I'm pretty sure they got their hands around there too. Because I know for a fact that they've gone and bought up a lot of property around Washington Park.
More going towards 60th. They're not quite on 51st yet. They're still they're migrating more south, but more north, but they're still like on the 60s. Etching up. So if you were going to make a power move for that, you would do it now. I had sent Frank some things. I just want to give.
Yeah, give me a few minutes while I
give me a few minutes because I want to give the audience like a little glimpse for those that didn't see of what the potential would be if you renovated Soldier Field. And again, I'm not saying that renovating Soldier Field is a game changer that you're going to say, well, the Bears should have done that a long time ago. I'm just saying
which they should have.
If it's marketable enough and equitable enough. See, that's the thing. If it's equitable enough for most parties, because like you just said, they're not looking to sit, like the park district is not looking to just give away money. But they always want to make money. I think they can make one of these deals. Shoot, if you're only getting $12 million now and you get a Bears own stadium in Washington Park and they build what they want, it's a monster out there. Shoot. I give you 30%. That $12 million just turned into 36. What would you rather have?
Yeah, I was also sitting up there reading what Trey Five said. He said, "Wouldn't that be a major loss for the city if the team relocates?" As far as money, yeah, because that'd be a lot of money they're gonna lose.
That's almost crippling.
And it's gonna hurt a lot of bars and businesses around Soldier Field because they're not getting those people to come in no more.
And it's just sad because, people can't say that the Bears organization wasn't trying to tell them this for, 10, 15, 20 years.
Plus, but
now that the Arlington Heights thing opened up and they were very first bidders to go buy it, then they started to jump out and try to figure out a way to keep them there.
Well, see, here's the thing. Remember, Soldier Field is one of the oldest stadiums.
It is.
So the value of the value is very, very old as far as structure is concerned. But just because the Bears play there and stuff and everything else, they're going to make money clearly because they're the number 6 franchise. Actually, no. Are they 4 now or are they 6?
They're 6. They're 6 right now, and that's without owning their own stadium.
Because Dallas was 1.
Dallas was 1. Green Bay was. I don't think Green Bay was ahead of them. Still, Green Bay was.
I don't think Green Bay can because they're not privately owned.
Yeah, Green Bay was like 7 or 8 or something like that. They were still high, but I'd have to get a full listing or anybody on the chat light that up. Everybody knows Dallas is 1, and I think after the Raiders made their renovation, they actually.
I was gonna say it had to be a team that built a new stadium. So I was thinking the Rams,
and I think the LA Rams hit top 5.
I was thinking the Rams because it's 2 teams in SoFi.
Yep.
Definitely thinking that. Again. Al Davis was a monster as far as business came to, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Las Vegas Raiders are up there.
Okay. Frank, go ahead and
Patriots for sure. Bullets. Patriots for sure.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Go ahead, Frank, and upload those pictures.
So we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with the outdoor of renovations of what they wanted.
That's not bad. God damn.
You see what they did to the dome, right? They removed the UFO-looking spaceship thing and basically just put a hat on it.
It's a beaut. Don't get me wrong, but it's just sad because it's a picture. You wish it could have happened a long time ago, but.
And that's what I was talking about. You go up.
Yeah, for like boxes are going up, it looks like there.
Yeah.
Well, just the stadium as a whole, Frank, because remember, it used to go out.
Yep.
Now it's just kind of going straight up. And then that, to me, this is the coldest picture because you open that window.
With that skyline, too.
Look at that skyline. Look at that.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is that beautiful. Alone, where these guys are here sitting, taking pictures, that's worth the price of admission right there.
All right, we got Jeremy. Cowboys, Patriots, Rams, Giants, Bears.
Sounds about right.
So Bears actually hit top 5. I know last time I looked,
I thought we were 4 until that renovation the Rams did. I thought we were.
Yeah.
I thought the Raiders. How recent was that, Jeremy? Because I thought the Raiders hit top 3 now since they did their renovation. Grogu wants it. They want to know what Grogu thinks about the renovation.
What you think about the renovation, huh?
He said, yeah.
Speaking Grogu.
All right, I guess rule goes down for the renovation.
Yes,
well, it says it perfectly right there. It's 100% what it is. It's all that matters on this thing is who is going to win.
If they renovate that stadium to look like that, the Bears have to have majority ownership.
The Knicks are at 5 bullets. Are you chiming with me here? It's not.
No, we were just talking football, not overall.
Oh, yeah, we were just saying football.
We were just talking football because I'm Madison Square Garden. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So let's hey Mike, I wanted to talk to you. What do you think about some of the things that we've been hearing out of OTA so far? You think it's all hype, or are you excited, or are you just like, okay, it's just talk because it really doesn't mean anything? It's OTAs.
I mean, like you said, it's OTAs, but at the same time, even though it's like not mandatory, I feel like you should still go because it's a team effort. You know what I mean? I personally like JJ back. Jalen Johnson's back, this week. I thought he was personally going to sit out the whole time. But, I mean, I hear a lot of DJ Moore, burning our cornerbacks and stuff like that. But I personally, I don't know about you guys. I'm not a big Vildor Kindle fan. I personally think he's fighting for his job right now and could possibly be cut.
I think he lost it. I think he lost. I think he lost it. His job's gone unless there's an injury. There's no question about that. Because the other standout at OTAs is that corner that we just drafted.
Yeah, his name is Tyreek Stevens, and he's
but if you looked at him, he kind of coming off an injury in a way, so they're probably trying not to push him. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they're trying to move Gordon to the inside and possibly Stevenson taking that second rollover for the cornerback. So
that's where they had Kyler playing majority of last year.
Until Vildor and all them kept getting hurt, and then I didn't
understand it because for the simple fact that when he was at Washington, he was one of the best corners in the nation. Didn't allow a touchdown pass at all. Hell, I don't even think he had a damn defensive penalty.
I think in 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, for 2 seasons he had not one pass interference or holding call in 2 seasons of college football.
So you got a guy that was used to playing in the outside and played it at an elite level at college, and then you decide when he gets here, okay, we're gonna put him down there.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Have him play nickel corner where he got to guard slot guys all day. And one of the reasons why he dropped in the draft was because his 40 time wasn't up to par. And a lot of those guys in the slot, they're quick, they're fast. So I think they sort of did him a disservice by putting him in the slot, and that's why he struggled a lot in the beginning last year.
Yeah, and one thing I will say about Kyler Gordon, because as everybody knows, I'm a huge Kyler Gordon fan. I love Kyler Gordon. I wish that they kept him on there, and I'm not going to say I wish we didn't draft that corner, because with us drafting that corner pretty much says Kyler is going to be your permanent nickel right now. But we all know in Eberflus style system, that nickel is absolutely important, because they are out there 80+% of the time. So, and I understand that
Frank.
100%. But my key thing is switching him from nickel back to outside, back to nickel, back to outside for a rookie. That is so hard to do, and one of the hardest positions to actually have at nickel. But now you're giving him a full off season of just being nickel. Hey, I mean, we'll see, because he's got the IQ, he's got the athleticism. He's a smart freaking kid. I like him running at nickel, but you got to stop flipping him.
I agree with you. I love our DBs. I don't think our DBs is the problem. I personally think we're lacking defensive end. We just have a rotational system right now. We don't really have that starting defensive end. And Gibson, they're saying, he's got to step it up. Robinson's got to step it up. But in my view, Justin Jones should step it up a little bit. But if we get him some help on that defensive line, I've been saying Yannick from Indy from the beginning of the offseason.
I want Yannick too, yeah.
He doesn't want to come.
He could be available. We're supposed to do joint practices with Indy. I'm not saying that's got anything to do with it, but I hope he turns around and he just, signs with the Bears. I don't know about that 14 or 15 million per year, but hopefully they can discuss like a 10 million per year or something. I'm down with it, because I believe they got to spend about 15 million more dollars, I believe, out of their cap space this year to get with league rules.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have right. They have to, so we know something's coming. And let me backtrack, because I want to address everything you said, Mike. You right on point. Frank, I wanted to challenge you real quick on that. Maybe it's that Jalen Johnson will be the odd man out. Seeing this,
I agree with that too. Yeah.
He's up for contract negotiations, and with Tyreek Stevenson playing as well as he can. And don't forget, guys, we drafted another DB from the Big Ten. We drafted Travis Bell. He's no slouch. He played very well. So maybe it's a combination of those four going forward. And then next year, if they feel that Jalen Johnson can't be kept under contract for a reasonable deal, because let's face it, Jalen Johnson gets us a lot of pass defenses. He doesn't get us a lot of interceptions.
Yes.
And that's,
but he's a good shutdown corner.
But he does shut down. He's a lockdown corner. He is.
And I take that.
So we'll keep that into play. And then I want to touch back what Mike said, because Mike, you're right. Are we really going into the season with our bookends, Travis Gibson and Dominique Robinson? Wait.
We need more. There's no question about it.
We got Walker.
Remember, he plays both. He plays tackle and end. I don't think either one of the rookies is going to start yet. I don't think I love Javon Dexter. I think he was a steal at that position. Is he going to start? Is he Tommy Harris yet? No, he's not. We got to see. But right now, Billings is going to start, I'm assuming. And between Jones and Walker, because I don't feel comfortable Jones kind of going to DN, he's a one technique. He's primarily a one technique.
They're gonna probably put Jones at the three technique.
So then you kicking Walker out to the end.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say kick out, but I think it's going to be rotational, because, like I said, I don't think we have that starter. So there'll be a guy that don't just play inside that's going to play outside. I think it's going to be fresh. That's just my opinion. I mean,
but at what point, Mike? Because eventually you gotta put a starting lineup out there.
No, yeah, for sure. And I don't think they're done in the offseason yet.
No, I don't. They're not done. There's no question that
I have a wish list. I do. Hear me out. But let me go back. Rumors have stated that Dominique Robinson has reached out to Raheem Mathis. Y'all remember Raheem Mathis from Annapolis? Pretty, he's solid, pretty good, defender over his years. He's reached out to him to get some work. Rumors are also stating that Yannick Ngakoue does not want to come here, and the Bears probably aren't going to pay him.
He wants to be a contender. He wants to be a contender,
which most people do.
Which I can't blame him. I'm saying, if we always talk, especially me on this show, I would like to bring somebody that's impactful and some veteran presence. I would give Frank Clark $5 or $6 million and say, hey, come on. Because at least he can mold the young guys. I'm not saying he's going to be a game changer, because I don't feel the Bears are Super Bowl ready yet.
No.
But to bring
This is a
like
big
that
year
in,
for them going into next year to see how many people actually want to come here.
I
Because a lot of
like
people
the
who do
Clark
want to
move.
come here right now are offensive type players because they want to play with Justin Fields.
I like the Clark move, but you got to understand what Poles has said. He basically wants to do it through the draft and young. I want that veteran, but I don't think he's going to go over somebody 27, 28 years old.
well, but then we're hoping it's kind of like we're wishing on a hope and a prayer, because then the younger crowd that we have, unless Noah Sewell turns out to be like this defensive end that we didn't know he could be, which I liked him because I watched Pac-12 football on Saturday nights, and he was all over the place. He played everything.
Great athleticism that guy has.
He was a problem, right? But do we put him in that deep? Like
he should be in a rotation.
20 sacks as a team last year, guys. 20.
Yeah, and I mean this is the thing. And just to piggyback on that, JB, and it's what I wanted to bring up with the defensive end situation. It's a lot harder to rush a quarterback when you can't stop the run game either.
Absolutely.
All right, and when they're plugging, like with these draft picks that they got, those tackles that they got, I really do like them plugging him. They got some big boys that they brought here too. Like I'm hoping that's going to help open it up for somebody like Dominique Robinson, who he had a good start from what I remember. The first 3 games, he had a lot of good pressures, but then it seemed like his playing time went down. Like he wasn't out there nearly as much.
Yeah, you know why? Because somebody named Al-Qadim Muhammad had to play, and of which I did not want him anyway.
No, I never wanted him.
He's a super sub. Mike, I'm going to take you back because I know you remember football. If we had something like, remember when the Giants were going to the Super Bowl and they had that NASCAR package and they had Strahan and Justin Tuck and all them boys? If we could put something like that together, I feel you on the rotational piece. But I don't think we have a Justin Tuck on this team. Not currently constructed.
I agree with you. I don't think we have that either. That's where we're leaking, or really our needs are defensive line. That I mean, they've got like pieces and big guys, young guys, this and that. You know what I mean? Justin Jones kind of fell off for what we paid him. You know what I mean? Like I believe he should have done better.
Well, remember, he was an afterthought. We didn't want him at first. He was kind of like an afterthought, like, give me that guy. Which I didn't expect a lot out of Justin Jones. I just knew he played hard. But 20 sacks, and the guy and Walker that we got, even though at Tennessee, I don't even know what was going on with Tennessee last year. He only had, and I say only, but he only had 7 sacks. But that was more than anybody on the Bears.
That was damn near the whole Bears.
The whole front line for sure.
Yeah.
You know? But like, I'm just there. You go. That's what I'm saying. Bullets. I'm saying the reason why is because Yannick is going to want too much money, and he wants to be in a contending position. Yannick is somebody I can see going to the Jets, who got a couple dollars to spend. Maybe going to the Saints because the Saints, look, that division is all but theirs. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him coming to us just to say, "Oh, that was my old coach. I want to play with him."
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I mean, we're just a few pieces away. I believe it's a 2-year system to get really competitive. But what they did in the offseason on, the Moore trading down, I mean, Moore is a number 1 receiver. And if Claypool can even step it up a little bit, I don't know what happened last year, if he couldn't figure out the playbook or what, but hopefully they can, Claypool, Mooney to the slot. You know what I mean? Those 3 right there, that's a pretty good duo. Then you got Komet and Kanyon. There's no excuse on the weapons. And to add to the offensive line to protect Justin Fields, I don't think our offense is going to be an issue. I just think the defensive line's an issue. I like our defensive backs. I like our linebackers. I was hurtful when they got rid of Roquan Smith. I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed off. But once I sat down and realized, hey, we gave him an offer at the beginning of the year, he didn't accept it. Obviously, we got to move on. So you might as well get something than nothing. But then Jack Sanborn came out the rough, and he played just as good as Roquan. I thought. I'll always be a Roquan fan. I give him nothing but luck, But I just feel our defensive line is a little lacking. I think our offense is going to be in the top 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is definitely lacking.
I'm glad you touched on that because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And if you could protect Justin Fields, he's athletic, really good with his legs. I just want to see him like protect and feel comfortable in the pocket, and the first time ever get 4K out of a quarterback.
Justin Houston's another good one, yeah.
Justin Houston got a couple of miles on him, but I wouldn't be mad at Justin. Like
no,
you said,
not at all.
Wait, and Poles knows these guys because they played in Kansas City.
Exactly.
That that's the part where I say if you put some type of symmetry together, that's the symmetry I want.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't matter who we bring here because anything is going to be better than what we had.
True, and Clark wants Yannick money too. So if you're talking about just money, Frank's going to be a pretty penny too.
Yeah.
I would pick myself as a pretty penny.
I don't think Frank. So right now, in my opinion,
Frank the Tank should be up in there.
Frank Clark might be a mercenary for a contending team, right? But for us, we have the luxury to give him a couple of dollars to say, "Hey, come coach us, come help us out, man."
I'm good with that.
Give me 3 years. Give me 3 years.
Well, I don't think, tell you the truth, to be honest with you, I do agree with you guys. We do need a couple guys that have veteran presence that's gone and won on a high level. We don't need no guy that's, saying we got young guys. We need some veterans that's come in here and teach these guys exactly how it is to play that position, how to be professionals, and to play situational football. We need that. Frank Clark would be great. Justin Houston would be good. If we could get Yannick, that'd be awesome as well. But we got to sit up there. We got to get these veteran guys in there. Also, I'm not going to be so quick. Like the thing about the NFL, it's so crazy and it's so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. One team that always gives me fucking hope is the Cincinnati Bengals. The fucking Cincinnati
Horrible.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Who the fuck thought that Cincinnati was going to go to the fucking Super Bowl the year they went to the fuck? Who the fuck thought Cincinnati was going to make the fucking playoffs, let alone the fucking Super Bowl?
Yeah, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL the year before that.
And that's what I'm sitting up there saying. So I know everybody say, we may be 1 or 2 years. We may. We may not be.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. It
relies on JF1.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, that year that Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, besides Joe Burrow, besides Jamar Chase, who the fuck did they really have that you knew before then that was on their fucking squad?
Yeah.
I mean,
see, I wouldn't. That's a good point. I more compare it to the Jags. They were dead last, and then they were fighting for a playoff spot. Got in the playoffs. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but they made it. I feel like the Bears could do that. I got them at winning 9 games this year, possibly 10, depending. And we could get. I'm not saying we're winning the division, but we could get a wild card if.
I'm not saying you can't really come out and say they can't win the division though either, because with Aaron Rodgers leaving, the Lions we expect to be good, but they're still the Lions. Like you just don't know. When people give them high hopes, they shit the bed. That's what they're known for.
You do say the Lions is the Lions, but I mean they've made a lot of changes, and like you said, they look good on paper. Now perform. Last year they looked decent, then they kind of fell off, and then they're like, "All right, hey, you beat Aaron Rodgers to get him out of the playoffs. They did something."
Yeah, they had a solid year. They finished strong.
I just think they have the most solid roster in the NFC North. Like I'm not trying to be like, "Oh, the Bears for sure." I'm hoping the Bears for sure. I just think the Lions got the better roster right now.
Because you're a realist, and that's what we really have to be. We have to put our fandom to the side.
Yeah.
And say,
Now Bullets right there just says Cincy has been drafting smart, and no doubt they have. But once again, Bullets, who the fuck would have thought that Cincinnati was? First of all, we beat Cincinnati the year they went to the fucking Super Bowl.
We did.
We did. Yeah.
So who the fuck would have thought that Cincinnati would have went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. That
was going to the playoffs. I know they gone and drafted smart and got whoever they got, but they didn't have those guys. It wasn't like they had top rookies, like their rookies were just, oh man, so outstanding. They were all pros or Pro Bowlers or something like that, like the year before. They didn't. They had Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon was all right, but Joe Mixon was a running back that stayed hurt.
Yeah,
And then
when he was in, he was good.
They kind of did build smart. Burrow, if I'm not mistaken, Burrow's first year he got hurt, right?
He was lighting it up his first year.
Yeah, he like tore his ACL before he
got hurt. Right.
Yeah, he was lighting it up. So, like I said,
but you knew he was coming.
Yeah, you knew that he was coming, but that's
did anyone expect him to come that quickly though? He came pretty damn quick.
After what he did at LSU, you damn right I expected him to come like that.
There's a lot of people who have done that in college that really did not do that.
Ain't nobody did that. Went from Ohio State to starting and winning the national championship. Ain't nobody did that.
Yeah, a lot of it is about the draft, and you guys can remember, we got Ryan Poles. Who do you think helped that Kansas City Chiefs lineup get so good? Poles. His specialty is drafting. So everything that Poles has been doing, like what he come in with only 5 draft picks and then turn it around into like 9 or 11.
11, yeah.
And he had a good draft, and we didn't even have a first round pick. And what we ranked like 7th or 9th best draft of that season, and we didn't even have a first round.
Those draft picks he had were projected first round picks in Kyler Gordon and Brisker.
Right, I love
a lot of people with first round picks.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys put up Harry's comment again? I love Harry the Greek, man. If the Bears can develop a pass rush, the division is not out of the question. It will be tight between the Vikings, y'all didn't catch that, and the Bears. Detroit will regress next year. Play under on the total wins for the Lions. Bank it. Hey, Harry, love. We got to get Harry on.
Harry, and for sure. And just to bring back, I think the Vikings they've been sliding. They had a run last year. They had a lot of wins last year. Did anyone on this panel think that they were any chance of Super Bowl contenders? I know I didn't.
The run they had last year. The exact same thing happened to them the year before because those balls were bouncing the wrong way.
Yep. A lot of luck.
Come on. Josh Allen mysteriously gets sacked in the end zone to lose a game and fumble the ball. Wait, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen
right on the button. Not to mention their defense has been pretty much dead last. And in the offseason, they did nothing to help out that defense. I thought it got worse.
Yeah.
Well, they drafted Lewis Sin.
They have a great receiver. That's it.
No, top safety last year with Brisker, the top 2 safeties from Brisker. He got hurt. Other than that, they ain't really had anybody.
Yeah. I mean, well, you kind of think about it. Think about the division. Do you really trust Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, he's got a point there. Only can do that in a 12 p.m. game. You can't give the Vikings any chance.
Is he a quarterback that you can trust? Is Kirk Cousins a quarterback that you can trust?
No.
Jared Goff. We've seen what Jared Goff has gone and done. I mean, people got to remember. I know everybody was high on the Lions because they went on a nice roll at the end of the season. Like I tell people all the time when I'm on here, I will believe in Detroit when I see Detroit do something. I'm not no fucking, because they won 7 out of 8 games at the end. I don't give a fuck.
They could come and win the first 3 and then
Detroit has not won a fucking division title since 1993, I believe. And I was
and Tampa was with us in the division.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct me on this, but I think it's 28 years since they won a playoff series.
That would be Coach Wayne.
Playoff game, 28 years.
Right. And then on top of it, you talking about fucking Jared Goff, who got his ass traded up out of the Rams because he couldn't take them to the next level where they traded with him for Detroit's quarterback. That shit still couldn't get their ass to the fucking playoffs and shit, or even to win a fucking title.
Yeah. But Goff did play well, though. He did play pretty well.
Yeah, but he had one of the worst Super Bowls in NFL history. But this is the thing,
though. Jared Goff is not a consistent guy. He'll have a year here and there. Maybe his year was last year. Next year or this year coming up, he could be sitting up there looking like fucking Jared Goff.
I like
when the pressure is on the line, he never delivers. Never.
No, I can't say that because he won that shootout against Patrick Mahomes. So we can't say that.
I mean, you give him one game.
Every dog.
Wait, if you give him one game, that's the game that nobody thought he would have won. That game.
Then you're right on that one. But
I'm just saying, I'm not going to poop. First of all, I think Dan Campbell has that Mike Tomlin thing.
Great offensive scheme they put for Goff.
You know, like they just want to play for him. Like they won't let him down. And going forward with Jameson Williams having a new season fully.
That's why bitch ain't even playing the first couple games. Remember, he was gambling.
He was gambling. But he's healthy. That's my thing. He's healthy. Hey, wait, did Scott just echo what I said? Thank you, Scott. Jared Goff was like MVP. It was him, Todd Gurley, right? Remember?
Yeah, but then what happened after that?
I think, like, there was a good team.
I'm pretty sure Scott was not mimicking you because he was kind of bringing down Jared Goff because he hasn't done shit since.
I mean, he's okay. What are we really saying right now?
Jared Goff is a little bit better version of Kyle Orton. That's what I'm saying.
What?
That's what I'm saying. He's a little bit of a better version than Kyle Orton. He's if he doesn't lose the game for you, then it's a plus. I don't think Jared Goff is shit. Quote me on that.
What? Hey,
Jared, you watching? Quote me on that. You suck.
I knew you, Frank. You said Jared Goff is a step above Kyle Orton.
A little step. Just a little step.
I think that's disrespectful, man.
I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I've never been a fan of Jared Goff.
Never.
I really haven't. I thought he was a guy that was in the right system.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about systems, though.
There's no question about that.
But that's what I'm sitting up there saying.
People can get over those.
Well, some guys, you know, that you can put them in damn near any system, and they just that damn dude. You know, I think Jared Goff is a system type quarterback. Mm-hmm. There's nothing spectacular about him. He has a good arm. He's not mobile. He's known to throw.
Yeah, but I wouldn't refer him to Orton. Maybe a Dalton. Be a little better.
You know what, though?
Not that much better, though.
When he was in Cincinnati, though.
I mean, what about this one by Antonio? Young Kirk Cousins?
No.
I see more Orton than Cousins.
I see more. No, honestly, I could be off.
Rex Grossman?
Hell no, man.
That one I was just kidding.
The man wins. I was gonna say he got a little Carson Palmer in him, from my view.
Nah.
I can see it. He'd be a step below.
Because I put it to you like this: when Carson Palmer was Carson Palmer before that fucking injury, he was way better than Jared.
Well, then we're saying Carson Palmer after the injury.
No, I'm saying we knew Carson Palmer had that it factor. We saw that from Jared Goff because
Goff don't have that it factor.
Let me finish. When Carson Palmer left Cincinnati, he wasn't all that good in the Raiders, and he wasn't all that good in the Cardinals.
No, the Raiders are known to shit.
But I'm saying
quarterback.
What Fowl said about the system. So Jared Goff was flourishing in that system. I'll tell you what. Remember, it wasn't too long ago when people was like, man, Steve Young sucks when Steve Young was on the Bucs, but when Steve Young went to the 49ers, he's a Hall of Famer all of a sudden. Systems do play parts. You're right.
I mean, system does play a part. Don't get me wrong.
It plays a hell of a part.
And I think that is where Goff lined up with the Lions in that system. That did get him better because in that system that he's in Detroit, he doesn't very rarely make mistakes.
And that's
like his key thing.
He's not asked to throw the ball 50 times either.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
He's asked to just win the game, manage it for the most part.
Jeremy's coming at you. Carson Palmer did revive it when he went to Arizona. He did pretty good when he went to Arizona.
Yeah,
he's better because he couldn't get worse with the Raiders.
Kurt Warner did better.
Kyle Orton did better.
Kurt Warner did better.
Kyle Orton did better in Denver, I feel.
Took him to a Super Bowl.
So did Cutler.
No, Cutler ain't never been in a Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Lost in the NFC champ. Rex Grossman.
I'm saying he did better in Denver, in my opinion.
All right, because Cutler threw for 4,000 yards in Denver. He didn't throw that in Chicago.
He did not have an offensive line his rookie year, though. And when we brought him in for the first 3 years, he got his ass handed to him for 3 straight years, man.
Well,
He
no, because the year
he forced a lot of stuff. I agree with you.
Gunslinger. He didn't care. He had that Brett Favre.
No, he didn't care. He was the perfect example of why you need to look at a football IQ when you're looking at a quarterback. Because he didn't have a good football IQ. He was dumb. He made way too many mistakes.
I mean,
Tried to force his arm
Especially
in
with
there. Way
a stellar defense and special teams, and I can remember the defense and special teams scored more than the offense to win the game.
That was more during the Rex Grossman time, though. Because we got Jay Cutler, our defense was aging.
But
our defense was aging when we got Jay Cutler. I remember we had, I forgot who it was we had. I think it was Alex Brown who we had on, said it was like, this isn't a rip on Rex, but if Jay Cutler was our quarterback in 2006, we would have won the Super Bowl. And I 100% agree with that.
Check this out. Jay Cutler did not make the Pro Bowl the year that he had Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Kyle Long, and Matt Forte. Those are the 4 people that made the Pro Bowl on the offense.
And didn't give it to Jay. I remember that. That was annoying. I remember
2,000-yard receivers, a lockdown defense.
Ooh, Antonio coming in with the fire here. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Golf.
What system? What system though? What team? What
the
system?
answer's golf.
What team? What system? Because hey, didn't Dilfer win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but he had like a 4 or 5 game stretch where they didn't score a damn touchdown.
But he won a Super Bowl. Jared Goff threw for like 100 yards in the Super Bowl, or did he even break 100 yards?
Yeah, it was like 13-6, right? The final score. The Patriots didn't do shit either. So
that's true.
The great Tom Brady didn't do nothing.
So these are Jared Goff's stats. In 2017, he threw 28 TDs, 7 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
2018, 32 TDs, 12 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's starting to fall off. 2019, 22, 16, 2020, 20 and 13. 21 with Detroit, he threw 19 and 8. And then last year he threw 29 and 7.
So he had a good year last year. He
did have a good year
last year. No doubt. But it's still
so that's kind of like Jay Cutler numbers, isn't it? Now that we were talking about Jay Cutler, that is kind of like Jay Cutler.
He'll have probably like 2 good years, and then he'll come back and wet the bed the next 2.
So my question to you would be those years Todd Gurley was hurt, no Andrew Wentworth, no Allen Robinson. Like it was a lot going on with that Rams team. He's a system person with good people around him.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell got a squad, man. He got a squad around him. He does.
I believe it when I see it.
But we're going to see this year, and we're going to go to the game together or watch it, whatever. We're going to see that. But I wanted to bring up something because, Mike, when you had went and started naming people on the offensive side of the ball for the Bears and how many weapons I had, I was thinking to myself, name the top weapons that we have. For tight ends, you already said Tunyon, who I love from Green Bay, right? He's definitely a red zone threat, first down killer. Cole Kmet is getting better. Big Stiffy's getting better. But when you go to that wide receiver,
Foulmouse names.
Of course, that's paying homage. But that's paying homage to Foul.
Big Stiffy.
Some people, N'Keal Harry technically is still on the roster, but I'm not going to count him.
Is he really?
I thought he was, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
But Pettis is still on the roster. We know special team, whatever.
Oh, look, as soon as we talk about golf. This guy comes on.
Don Bird, he just gave you credit. Did
somebody say he was sniffing his jock strap or some shit? I don't know.
Somebody was sniffing jock. I know
the Lions beat us 2 games last year, so we can't talk.
They swept us.
DeAndre Swift had his way with us, but that's another story. But here's the thing that I'm looking at, fellas. If we do the regular West Coast system, we can all agree that our 3 starters, receiver-wise, should be a combination. I'm not giving position. I'm just giving
There
names.
you go, bullets.
It should be DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool, correct? Now, when you go to the people that I just named, that's 5 and 6. Don't forget we have EQ. Didn't we draft Tyler Scott?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's the odd man out?
The
I hope
person
it's
that you
Pettis.
don't like.
I hope it's Pettis.
Oh, we named Pettis already. But
Well,
who is possibly the odd man out? Frank, catch my cue.
Well, I mean, this is the thing before I even hit it.
Next time you hear grown folks talking, shut the fuck up here.
Are you really going to cut him that quickly, man?
Hi, I'm David Jones.
I just said he's looking like the odd man out.
Actually, to be honest with you, he's really not.
How you
Because the
doing?
one thing that he can do is, and that some of them can't
Got
do,
that
is play
special
special
teams,
teams.
You're talking
And the
about
thing about
Jones.
it is,
Velvet Jones, correct.
yeah.
I-
And the thing about it is that also remember, he's cheap. He's on a rookie deal. I would get rid of
That's
Dante
why you can
Pettis.
get him, because he's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, but I would get rid of Dante Pettis before I get rid of
Dante Pettis costs more than Velas does.
Dante
He
Pettis
showed
is an actual productive punt returner. He's your special teams punt returner.
But Velas, if he can catch the ball, is a better punter.
Well, he started off rough, but he got better as the year went on.
Yeah, he
He
did.
sure the fuck did.
And I believe I said Harry was on the team. I don't think he's on the roster.
No, somebody said his kicker now has his number, so he is not on the roster.
Okay, so he's
He's
off
not,
now.
he's not on the
I don't
roster.
think he was
So I
cut. He was
don't
just
think
here for this year.
anybody is the odd man out from what you just said. I believe they all make
Well,
the
they're
roster.
gonna I don't think they carry 8 receivers. And in my opinion,
I would
That's a
rather
lot of wide
Pettis go
receivers to carry.
because I
that's a
think
lot of wide receivers to carry. And in my opinion, I could be wrong, but if you have this faith in Velvet, you don't draft Tyler Scott. You don't.
Hi, I'm David Jones.
No,
You don't
but
draft Tyler Scott.
actually,
Well, do you want to know what I think about Tyler Scott?
That's why I was throwing that to you, Mike.
I personally think if you look at between him and Mooney, it's about the same player, but Tyler Scott has a better, I'd say, quick step. He's a better route runner.
he's a better.
I believe Mooney is going to be the odd man out next year.
Next year there's a contract.
Yeah, and they are working a contract offers
Because
with
of
him.
contract. I was talking about scheme, because now if you're really going to run that Green Bay, not that shit Getsy ran last year, I'm talking about the real Green Bay offense that what's his name, that Hackett ran, the real offense where Aaron Rodgers was getting that ball out, and if he was throwing it to the back, you knew it was decisive. It wasn't a check down. It was, I'm hitting you now. If he's going to run that offense with a DJ Moore, a Claypool, and a healthy Mooney,
Get him, bro.
I don't see a place for that, because one thing you know for sure, if they're stacking against that run, you're going to have one-on-ones on the outside. You got to throw the ball, man.
I do feel Velvet, Velas, whatever the hell we want to call him. We call him Velvet on this show. But, like, I feel out of all the people, his training camp is huge for him. He better have some monster preseason games or something. Because we can't always rely on Dante Pettis, though, too, because Pettis he was second in the NFL in drop passes. And he didn't get thrown to a lot either.
And that's what I'm saying.
I thought he only had 6. I thought he only had 6.
Six maybe that we known. Because I thought he was.
But that's what I'm sitting up there saying. Pettis is, it's not like Pettis is like, oh, he's entrenched, like he's going to be a part of the squad. No, if I had to choose between the two, I would take Velas. Velas Jones will sit up there and state, because one, he's in his second year. 2, he can play special teams. Pettis can too. But Pettis is a guy, remember, Pettis is a journeyman in the league.
Of course.
He's a journeyman in the league. So I'm not too keen on sitting up there.
Guess who likes him?
Huh?
Guess who likes him?
His mama?
We hope. Justin likes him.
Justin already got 3 fucking wide receivers that he
Justin
like.
also likes Velas Jones too.
Right.
In that 2-minute drill that they're raving about today, he targeted Pettis on the 2-point conversion and converted it. Like, you have to give the people that he's comfortable with, and you have to put them on the field as well. Him and DJ Moore right now, They say D.
You
You
know,
didn't
some
get
of
more
us are
last year.
bullshit when you want that boy gone, and I feel you. I
No,
see why you want him gone.
I don't want him gone. I'm being realistic because then why do you draft Tyler?
I'm being realistic. Like, why? Like, if you had opportunity for a guy that's young, a guy that you can still develop, a guy that's faster than that guy, a guy that plays the same damn position as him. Actually, he's more of a threat when he has the ball in his hands than Dante Pettis is. Why would
13 draft passes for Pettis last year.
You're comparing him to Pettis, bro. I'm comparing him to Tyler Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to.
But the thing was, we were sitting up here saying who was going to get kept. We know that Tyler Scott is going to get kept. We know that EQ is going to get kept. We know that Mooney, DJ, Claypool, those 5 guys are going to be kept. Is everybody after and Tyler? Excuse me. Those guys. Well, no, I included Tyler, so that's 5. Those 5 guys are going to get kept. It's everybody after that is where you're going to have to come in and see, like, okay, who's going to stay and who's going to go.
So go back to
5 guys are going to stay.
Go back to what I said earlier. I said he's on the bubble.
He could be on the bubble.
He's on the bubble. I ain't going to question
if you're
the
not
bubble.
part of that 5, you're on the bubble.
That's what I'm saying, because they're not going to keep 7. That's my point.
I believe Pettis will be the one to be the man out personally.
Makes more money.
I just, for some reason, because you would have seen Pettis. You said he had 13 drops last year.
13
I would have
drops.
seen Pettis gone last year. And what's our guy's name? When he got healthy, we couldn't get him on the field.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. He had a great preseason. I remember.
Great preseason.
He got hurt.
I want to say from Atlanta, right?
We really liked him too.
From
Yeah,
Atlanta?
we really. Payne? No.
Nah, I know, but we know who you're talking about. We just remember that.
His name just doesn't ring a bell because he sucked.
I would have thought they would have put him back in the game over Pettis, but then they brought in Marset, whatever, who
the Viking guy.
Grant.
Viking.
Here you go, Bullets. Grant.
Yeah. They gave the Vikings a gift.
They gave the Vikings a
Hell
gift.
yeah, that was against the Vikings.
Hey, Mike, that's one of them ball bounces, right? That's one of the things we were talking about last year. Like the football guys just really shined on the Vikings last year, right? But you had Grant, like you would have thought if Pettis had that bad of a year, we're like, hey, cut this dude. Like, what are we doing? They bring him back, but they don't bring back Grant? Come on, man.
So, Mike, let me ask you, what do you think? What are you looking at as far as Justin Fields? What do you think his stats will look like this year? If you just had to go on and guess, from everything that you're hearing as far as his decision making is quicker, the release of the ball is quicker, second year in the system, he's smart and knows the system a hell of a lot better than he did. He's looking light and day from the last time that he was actually out there on the field. What would you sit up there and suggest or think that his stats would be this year?
I don't know if you guys follow me or not. I personally think this is going to be his breakout year. I think he's going to have 35 to 4,000 yards throwing, not to mention at least 500 running. That's my opinion. And why I say that is the weapons, not just the weapons, but I love the Cody Whitehair move back to center because that's where he was a Pro Bowler. Agreed. You know what I mean? He's saying he's comfortable. He'll basically play wherever you want him to play. That's just a team player. With the injuries of the offensive line last year with Jenkins, Broom, it was like juggling. We had one player last year, which is a rookie, Braxton Jones, the only player on the offensive line to play basically every snap on the offense.
Yes.
He was only one of 2 players in the entire NFL who played every single snap on offense.
Right. But we got Lucas we got him from the pack. He's good. He didn't turn out very good. You know what I mean? Jenkins plays well when he's not hurt. His PFF ranking is pretty high. You know what I mean? Then we got Davis he's a top 15 guard, I believe, in the NFL. Then we just turned around in the draft and got the tackle that Justin Fields needed to be protected.
Darnell
I
Wright.
personally think they're going to have a top 10 offensive line. So if that could happen and the receivers and everything we have, like, I believe it's his breakout year. And say so happens it doesn't. You got to remember next year we have 2 first-round picks.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, that's also going to be with AKA you're going to lose either Darnell Mooney or Chase Claypool. One of them are going to be gone.
I think it's going to be multiple. There's numerous
I'm just saying
players
guaranteed one of them because those are going to ask for money. They're going to ask for some good money.
Right, and Komet, I believe they're ranking a ninth overall tight end, and we don't use our tight end to pay a tight end ninth in the league.
Yeah, he did.
The last time I checked, he was going to be ninth in the league.
Into the season, I'm about to say, okay.
Yeah, he's ranked pretty high amongst tight ends because of his pass blocking ability and how much they had him blocking last year.
Right, but you're gonna pay him in between $9 and $12 million just to block.
No.
No, you're going to need more from him. He did have a good year last year, though. A lot of people.
He did. I like that. I don't think we're going to re-sign everybody. I think there's only going to be a couple guys with extensions, and he's going to go get new guys. Next year we got almost $100 million next year as well.
Yeah, they got over $100 million next year without any extensions. They got like close to I think 100 and.
I think it was 103, 104 or something like that.
Yeah, just
right. We get that boost next year.
Oh, not even counting the boost. So
yeah,
I think the salary cap boost is going to be going up next year too, with TV rights or something like that. So that would be nice. Yeah. But I mean, that's another thing, and this is another thing I wanted to ask. Like, say Justin Fields, 3,500 yards, we'll say 600-700 rushing yards. 30 plus touchdowns, only to 11, 12 interceptions. What do you do this offseason?
You pay him now.
You pay him now?
Damn right.
Or do you wait until the quarterback price keeps going up like it constantly?
Him now.
I agree 100% with JB. If he has a productive year and that front office is saying he is my guy for the future, you pay him now and get it out of the way. Because we all looked at Patrick Mahomes' contract, 4 or 5 years ago, and was like, holy shit. That's going to kill the Chiefs. Yeah, that didn't happen because he's not nearly making as much as all the other quarterbacks are.
Right, but I look back in the older days where when you draft a guy, you get him cheap and young. Mahomes got his extension pretty early.
Yeah, only 3 years, exactly.
I'm not saying he's not worth it. Don't get me wrong. He's real good for sure. But, I mean, if you watch, it changes. Running back, unfortunately, isn't getting paid anymore. It's more going towards, like you said, the quarterbacks, some offensive line. Like it changes all the time, and we might as well not even talk about money because salary cap don't matter until they change the rule on switch all this to a signing bonus. Because when Rodgers went to the Jets, I'm like, they can't afford it. Like, they're negative. How can this happen? And when the trade actually happened, and I looked, I'm like, how are they only -9? I'm not understanding this. They switched 85-90% of his salary into a signing bonus. Here, we'll keep it under the deal. Like, there's got to be something that the NFL fixes because we have a cap and a cap for a reason.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter how big my pocket is.
It shouldn't, but unfortunately, it's not like baseball where if you got it, you can pay it.
Exactly. That's the one thing that drives me nuts about baseball.
That's the one thing.
That's basically how it is. Because as long as the owner is willing to switch it over to a signing bonus, they can spend as much as they want.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to ask you guys. I'm gonna answer Antonio's question too. In my opinion, here, that's what I'm talking about. Though, if you wait 2 more years, you might have to pay him Lamar Jackson caliber money. But if you're talking about at the end of this year, is he worth Lamar Jackson type money? No. Which is why you lock him up early.
Well, not necessarily. Because let's just say hypothetically he comes out and has an MVP type season.
He might not sign either. He might wait. But
if he comes this is one thing that's gonna trip me out about Justin. It's gonna tell me a lot. If he actually gets down to nuances of playing a quarterback and passing that ball, you can kiss them goddamn rushing yards goodbye because he is not, and I repeat,
100%.
he is not a running quarterback.
Say that again for the people out
Not
back.
like to run. He only did it out of necessity last year. That
I
fucker
love having that in his arsenal.
bad.
Don't get me wrong. Love having that in his arsenal. But I'm saying 4,200 all-purpose yards is what I
combined
as far as Justin Fields next year.
Yeah, 3,500 passing and 6.
35
rushing.
and say 700 rushing for next year. Hopefully less.
I'm cool with that as long as it's not the Cam Newton type of run.
Yes, that is
like the Josh Allen type of run.
Or the RG3 type run.
No, we damn sure don't want that.
No.
I can see where it gets to the point with him that he's back there passing, where fans of Chicago get frustrated because he's not running.
Because he won't run.
Exactly.
I can see that.
As long as he's completing those passes, I can give a rat's ass.
I was about to say the same thing. If he's completing passes and moving down the field, I don't think the fans are going to matter.
No.
Anybody who knows the game of football,
don't get me wrong. They're still gonna like it. But one thing that we know that fans love, they love the fucking highlights.
Yeah,
they love that shit. They live for that shit.
It's a show.
And I mean, the fucking highlights that he put on last year, where there's very few players in the NFL that literally take off from fucking defenders, where they don't catch them. Very few. Like, I mean, he's running by people and they're not catching them from behind.
Well, it's tough when he's running 21, 22 miles an hour.
I know, right?
And who was it? The Packers? The Packers Pro Bowl corner was just like, damn, dude, I did not know he can run that
Johnny
fast.
Alexander, yes.
Yeah, he was straight upset. He was like, I didn't know he can run that fast. Because he didn't run like that in college. Nobody knew he can run.
But here's the fact, fellas. The one thing that you definitely want is you want to see more proficiency in the passing game, no matter how many rushing yards he has. You want to see the proficiency, not the prolificness, but the proficiency in the passing game.
Yeah.
The second thing is, as far as the money is concerned, well, if you look at what Lamar did, Lamar has had multiple playoff appearances. I think he's got 1 or 2 playoff wins, but he also has an MVP under his belt. That changes things. The one that you would compare him to, unfortunately, I'm not trying to evoke any bad vibes here, would be the Kyler Murray deal based off of what your potentially could be, even though Kyler Murray did take the Cardinals to the playoffs. Because you can't say the Jalen Hurts deal because he took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So somewhere between Murray and Hurts is where you have to kind of lay the foundation for Justin, depending on what year he has this year.
Well, Justin Fields is going to have to be number one in everything because it's tough. I don't know why, but they don't really give a lot of Pro Bowlers to the Bears. Look, for instance, look at Roquan Smith. As soon as he stepped on Chicago field, he was the number one tackler every year from his rookie year. He did not make the Pro Bowl until he went to Baltimore.
Yeah. And I'll say this one thing that you said about Roquan too, and Roquan came out and said it as well, which I gave him credit for. He's like, I didn't care that I didn't make the Pro Bowl because I made the All Madden team. The All Madden team is a way better thing than the freaking tic-tac.
Well, I mean, think of the Pro Bowl though. The Pro Bowl is no offense, it's boring. I thought the flag football and I thought the dodgeball was cool. I didn't really care for the water balloon contest, but they need more challenges.
Different, right? Right, Mike? It was different, right?
Yeah, I like the challenges, the quarterback challenge. That's cool, but I mean, the Pro Bowl is basically going to be obsolete in the next 10, 15 years.
I mean, sometimes they need to go back to what it once was. Bring back the QB competition, the QB challenge. I love that.
I did love the QB competition.
That was great, dude. Yeah, that was great. Those moving targets.
The thing that made it so great was the people that you put on as the faces of the franchise of the NFL are the fucking QBs. Yeah. So why don't you sit up there and I love to see a competition with Pat Mahomes in there, Josh Allen in there, Lamar Jackson in there.
Those people don't even want to go to the
Herbert, Burrow. Put that shit back in there. Bring that shit back. People wants to sit up there and see that.
Well, right. Well, it hurt the Pro Bowl because a lot of players didn't want to go and lose their career on a dumb injury. So it was like a non-contact kind of thing. You know what I mean? Pro Bowl really is
Robert Edwards, the running back for the Patriots, they were doing the beach football thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think he went to his ACL or his Achilles or something.
His whole knee.
Yeah,
whole
everything
thing.
changed. Yeah, everything changed.
But I remember ABC Quarterback's Challenge in Hawaii, Randall Cunningham throwing the ball 77 yards in the rain on that. And then like a year or two later, Vinny Testaverde threw it 80 yards. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, let's see some more of that. Like you said, Fal. Let's get some more of that going on, because other than now, it's I don't like it. Like, the flag football shit was terrible.
That was so awful. That was so awful.
NFL blitz or something. Like,
that was so awful. It was very similar to like the Pro Bowl was anyway.
I mean,
you could blow a knee in that shit.
You can.
We played flag football. Look how many fucking people we know that sit up there going for ACLs and Achilles and all types.
You're trying to cut like crazy in flag football, man. You could really hurt yourself in flag football. Why not just do a freaking, a little beanbag tournament, for God's sake? Something stupid like that.
Little cornhole?
Yeah, a little cornhole.
But, you sit up there, you talking about, owners and how much money that they invest in these players. So I sort of get why they don't want to sit up there and have players get hurt in something as harmless as flag football or beach football and things of that nature. Well, something, matter of fact, speaking of money, shit, it's time for us to pay some bills around here.
Hey.
So let's go ahead and hit a commercial real quick.
There was a time when high standards prevailed, when excellent craftsmanship was displayed and treated with the utmost importance. Acquire the crisp, refreshing taste of Moore's Beer. Moore's Beer. Raise your standards.
Hey,
kudos to those White Sox. They won again, huh, Fal? Kudos to those White Sox. They won again. Damn.
Did they? What the fuck?
Yeah, Giolito, 0 runs given up against the Yankees. I'll be damned.
Didn't we just sweep the Tigers?
We're now like in third place now.
It's like we're going to sweep their ass in football.
I know, right? That'd be something. Don Burr, you hearing that? You hearing that, Don Burr?
All right. Don Burr, the Lions going to go timber.
I would laugh if they rock out one of the worst records in the NFL next year. Sorry, Sherry.
It'd be the Detroit thing to do.
It would be. After a promising finish to the season, just
right. Got their kneecaps bit off or whatever the fuck he said.
No, I ain't gonna trip. Like, Dan Campbell's a hell of a coach. But
I like Dan Campbell.
His team plays for him, and that's a key thing, and what we did not see for a lot of our
Mike,
coaches for a while.
I wanted to ask you this. Frank, could you put up the schedule real quick?
Let's see if it's still up.
Mike, I want you to give me
I've been going crazy on deleting some of Terrence's stuff because he hasn't deleted stuff since 2016.
A little housekeeping, huh?
Yeah, something. Like, I mean, Jesus.
You're his personal secretary.
So, Mike, go give us your game-by-game take.
First week, I believe we beat the Pack. Yeah. I think we beat the Bucks. I think we go 2-0. I don't think we're going to beat the Chiefs.
As in, we shouldn't.
Right, we shouldn't. I mean, anything's possible. I got us actually losing to Denver as well.
Me too.
I got us winning at Washington. I think Minnesota's defense is terrible. I think we win Minnesota. I think we lose against the Raiders and the Chargers, and unfortunately the Saints.
Okay.
I think we're going to beat up Carolina. I don't think they're going to be very good at all.
We better.
The Detroit, that one's 50-50. I think we're going to lose in Detroit, but I think we win at home. I think pretty much everybody in the division is going to sweep Minnesota because I don't think they're going to be very good. I think they're going to be at the bottom. I think we beat Cleveland. I'm not a big Watson fan. I think we lose against the Cardinals, and we win the last 2.
So what is that? 10, I think, right?
So
Yeah, I was in between 9 and 10 for sure. That Green Bay one can go either way, just depending on what Love is, because I believe Love is I think they're he's the unknown.
you
Because
said
you haven't seen much of him. He's only played like 4 or 6 games, started 1. He's got 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So, I mean, there's not really a lot of stats about him. The Packers are all hyped about him, but I'm not.
And just to answer Bullets' question, a head coach, that is really the only thing positive that you can say with
We're
that.
not.
I mean, it is the head coach, but this is the first year in that system.
It is, but he still has his team ready for every game. Peyton's always been known for that.
Yeah,
I'm just curious, Mike, because to me, because of Cleveland's pass rush and their defense, I would think Cleveland would be the game that you would pick to lose, not Arizona.
Yeah, I actually pick us to lose the Cleveland.
With Kyler Murray coming off that ACL tear, I don't see the Cardinals doing jack shit. Between them.
Well, there's always that game that you think you're going to win and you don't, and then the one you think you're going to lose and you don't. That's just kind of what I was thinking.
To me, that's the Tampa game because we're going to catch Baker early, and Baker's usually good early.
Yeah.
he's still a Baker.
I just don't trust Baker.
Yeah, you see what Bullet said? We beat the Pats last year. Like, that means nothing.
It's understandable. You can win a game. I'm just not saying that's going to be a for sure win for us versus Cleveland. Because, I mean, we still got Watson hasn't played a football. He did finish the season. How did he finish last year anyway?
I tell you what, he's got the sweetest contract in the NFL for a player.
There's no question about that.
Baby.
But he's got a squad around him. That's
he's probably got the sweetest massage chair at home now, too.
Well, tell you the truth, who do they have as their wide receivers?
We know
they
it's
got Amari Cooper.
We know it's Cooper.
Peoples-Jones, is he still there?
Donovan's Peoples.
They got solid.
He hasn't taken that next step yet.
Well, he's got a tight end that's really, really good.
He does got a really good tight end, yeah.
I'm talking about
Cleveland does have
David Njoku.
Yeah,
Naku?
David Njoku is really, really good at tight end.
Didn't he get a little hurt last year? So he's got to stay healthy.
Towards the end, yeah. Well, hey, I'm on the record for saying Kyle Pitts got hurt last year. If Kyle Pitts come on the market, Poles go get him.
Yeah.
Like now. But
you letting go of Big Stiffy?
No, no, you ain't letting go of Big Stiffy.
For Kyle Pitts?
Fuck a Kyle Pitts.
He's a beast. Well, look at that. Kyle Pitts got a 1K for who throwing to him? Who was throwing to him?
Marcus Mariota.
Right.
I want Carl. Give me Kyle Pitts. Shit.
Hey, Mike, we gotta let you know we call Komet Big Stiffy because he's stiffy.
They call Komet Big Stiffy.
I call his ass.
But I ain't gonna lie, he does run like a big Stiffy.
I told you, he Mark Bavaro 2.0, just a little faster, and that ain't bad. I mean, I
like Komet. I do. I don't see him on the Bears long term. I don't.
They
I don't
are
think
working out a contract extension with him, so we'll see.
Possibly. We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I've always said about Kyle Komet.
You always say about Notre Dame, so you might as well just say that. Just say Notre Dame.
Actually, tell you the truth, like I told you from the get-go, I thought that the Bears should have drafted the other guy from Notre Dame.
Fucking Michigan Wolverine, you.
And they ended up getting him any damn way. I like the Chase Claypool coming out of college.
Oh, Antonio lit it up for me here. Think about this, because this is what I said. Gronk was stiff too, people. I'm not comparing him to Gronk, but Gronk runs stiffy as well. Komet's got good hands. He's slow as shit. He does need to get faster. But it's because he bulldozes people over. So he doesn't go down on first time.
Who do you think was faster, Gronk or Komet?
I would love to see that race, actually, because I don't think either one of them are fast.
I think Gronk is faster.
Gronk, you just throw that freaking ball up in the air and just came down.
Is about gone. Maybe in his prime, but I don't think he's.
Yeah. I'm talking about in prime, not right now. Yeah. Shit.
No, obviously not right now. Like literally Gronk the same year that Komet is right now.
But I don't know if he was stiff.
Gronk wasn't really stiff. He was. It was awkward because he was so fucking big.
He was
With
stiff.
Komet,
Right?
you just see his ass. He just
Komet's big.
See,
No, he
Mark
is.
Navarro was stiff. Brett Jones was, to a degree, Jason Witten was stiff.
Jason Witten, he was a little stiff.
Witten had more wiggle than him than fucking.
Travis Kelce
Witten
got
had more,
wiggle.
and he had more speed too. And he like
Travis Kelce got wiggle. Okay, look, full transparency. Antonio Gates, as good as he was stiff.
Nah,
a lot of tight ends are stiff.
No, he was stiff.
Especially big tight ends.
Gates was kind of stiff.
Antonio Gates.
I'm gonna draft him in my fantasy team.
Antonio Gates was like he was taking fucking Pilates compared to
Like Jimmy Graham was not stiff. Like Jimmy Graham
was not
had wiggle. Darren Waller got wiggle. You know what I'm saying? Like Kyle Pitts got wiggle. You know what I'm saying?
But it just looks like Komet. Everything is like stiff and robotic with him.
Agreed.
Those other guys, the other guys that you naming, it just looks like they're just a little bit looser.
Agreed.
Stiffy look like shit. If he go up like this, it may get stuck, and you gotta put some oil on his shit.
That'd be a good nickname right there, the Tin Man.
You know what? Hey, Antonio, I like you. You got to come on the show. Dallas Clark. I actually wanted the Bears to get Dallas Clark coming up. I did. Like, I'm a Dallas Clark fan. Like, hey, he old school, Mike. You know, he used to put the tape on the fingers, no gloves. Dallas
Putting
Clark,
on the foil.
Dallas. I like Dallas Clark though. Dallas Clark was cool.
Yeah, Dallas Clark was cool.
He won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
When we flip it over to fantasy here, I'm going to say it right now. I'm drafting Cole Kmet.
Go ahead. I'm gonna beat you.
You probably will.
I'll let him slide.
It would be early. I ain't gonna draft him like he's fucking Gronk over here. but if Big Stiffy's there in the 7th, 8th round, I'm taking him.
You said the 7th to the 8th round.
7th to the 8th round, yeah, because you ain't drafting tight ends that early unless you got a Gronk out there. He ain't Gronk.
Shit, I'm drafting. Second or third round, if Kelsey's available, you damn right.
That's where I said, like, if you ain't like a Gronk. Kelsey
there's
is
actually a couple times
like
you got Kelsey, Waller. I mean, there's a couple out there that you would draft.
He went to the Giants. That's going to be interesting because now, that's putting a lot on Daniel Jones. I think his stats are actually going to drop this year, Darren Waller. I really do.
Well, because
I don't think Daniel Jones, Mike, I don't think he throw the ball like that.
I'm not a Danny Dimes fan at all.
I'm not a Danny Dimes guy. Like, I think he's just a guy. Like, I really do.
Let me ask you guys this. If Justin Fields come out and have a year like Jalen Hurts had, are you paying him, Chicago, the same type of money that you gave Jalen Hurts? Because remember, Jalen Hurts got paid off of this year. Not nothing that he only did previous years because it wasn't impressive.
No, he went to the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
but it also depends on where he's ranked at the end of the year.
If he's an MVP caliber, or because Hurst was number 2, wasn't he? He finished number 2 in the MVP race.
Only because he got hurt and missed them 3 games.
Yeah, true.
Because of the Bears.
Run away with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not no Danny Dimes, that's for sure.
Danny Dollars.
No, wait. Now you're talking shit because Danny Dimes gets $42 million, I think, a year, and he had what did he have? Anybody look it up. 16, 17 touchdowns.
He put some decent numbers up.
No, he didn't. I guarantee you, he's got between 15 and 17 touchdowns last
year.
What's
his fucking name? Danny what?
Daniel Jones is his real name.
Daniel Jones, they gave him way too fucking much money, man. I think it's because they didn't think they were keeping Saquon, so they had
He put up 3,200 yards passing, 15 TDs, 5 interceptions.
15 TDs gets you $40,000.
Million.
I'm sorry, 50.
I'll pay him $40,000.
$40 million.
That's $40,000.
How many picks?
Like $40,000 a pass.
How many picks, Tom?
He only threw 5.
Okay, that's the 3-to-1 ratio.
He didn't throw that, but I mean, what was his rushing? He had a lot of rushing.
He did have some rushing.
Yeah, but who was his leading receiver?
Who the fuck did he have at receiver?
That's my point.
like Darius Slayton.
Didn't they have
They had
Galladay? They
Shepard.
gave Galladay a
Shepard.
Nolan Shepard.
Galladay, he just fell off. He fell off like Allen Robinson did. You know,
Darius Slayton, and then of course Saquon.
They paid Galladay, who was just a bust for them, didn't they?
well, it's kind of like Allen Robinson. You know, ever since he got COVID, he just fell off. Like he just lost it.
This is true.
700 yards rushing and 7 rushing touchdowns. That's to go along with 3,200 passing yards, 700 rushing yards. But yes, only 15 touchdowns, but 7 of them were rushing touchdowns. Or no, 15 plus 7? Is that what we're saying?
He had almost 4,000 yards total.
I mean, that's technically 27 all-purpose touchdowns. That's a pretty good year.
Hey, Lamar Jackson had the best rushing attack in the league and threw for 29 touchdowns, rushed for another, I think, 7 or 8, and won an MVP. What are we talking about?
I mean, we're talking about. I mean, you're talking about injuries like that. That's the key thing. That's the only thing I felt like that was holding Lamar Jackson back. But
Lamar Jackson's record should have been blasted last year because all year Justin Fields was hurt, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, we're gonna hold him out. Like he was only like 68 yards away or something. Like least attempt it first quarter, I would have got it.
I wouldn't have.
I have liked him to break that record, but not if it meant his future.
No, I agree. But I mean, the first year he was bent backwards. You thought he was going to be in a casket, but I mean, he's a tough kid.
We were also getting too close to winning games, and we wanted to make sure we were tanking last year, so we had to make sure to take him out.
No, that's not true.
Yes. That tank was on.
No, it wasn't because we were 3-4 going into the freaking trade deadline.
He was just always close. We were close to winning games.
I'm kind of with you. I thought we taked it too there at the end. I'm not saying at first, at the end for sure. And all I want to do is give Lovie Smith a big hug in the Houston organization saying, you know what, Lovie, after today, I think we're going to let you go. You shouldn't have told him that because it backfired right in your face.
Yeah. And I agree 1,000% with what you just said, Mike. But you can't tell me going into week 7 or 8, I believe it is, you can't tell me at 3-4 you're talking about tanking.
No, I didn't say early in the season. I was, 14, 15. That's when
That's my tank now, the tank topics. We tanked. We were planning on tanking that whole year.
That's when we traded Roquan that week, right?
The moment we traded Roquan, that's when the tank was
personally. I'm saying, no, if I'm not mistaken, that week went from what's the defensive end that gave us 18 tackles?
Oh, God, I forgot his name, too. He's
Robert
still available
Quinn.
to sign.
Quinn, yeah. The trade went from Robert Quinn, then to Roquan, then it was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but if you look at all the players that, it was hard to let go, well, the players that went somewhere, they really didn't do much.
I think, but
Quinn was other than Roquan. Except for Roquan. Mac actually did pretty good, too, once. Mac was doing pretty good.
But for the money he's making and the games he sat out, he wasn't worth that caliber. I thought we overpaid for Mac. I love Mac, but I thought we overpaid for him.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Say they do cut Mac. Are you bringing him back on this team? Are you offering him a contract? Because I would in a heartbeat.
He's healthy, yes. He's healthy as long as it's cheap.
Yeah, he pretty much had a healthy year. We'll say that about him. He was healthy.
He did.
You know what
that California sun do for you?
Yeah, exactly. And cold weather and our shitty ass field conditions over there at Soldier Field.
No, just plus we need to get new training staff. The Bears and the Bulls training staff suck
everywhere in Chicago. You know what they trying to do? Other than my Blackhawks.
The Bears was that team. The Bears was that team that tried to fucking sit up there, trying to do everything possible. They remind me of like the owner from Major League and shit.
Who was trying to relocate.
Gave him a shitty plane, turned off all the hot water.
If we only averaged 2,000 fans a game, we could up and move the team.
They were trying everything to make sure that they were going to fucking lose games.
They give the Bears that shitty-ass plane duct taping the propellers together.
Hey, I love that movie, man. Every time that come on, I got to watch. The original, not Major League, the original.
Yeah, and that's what it seemed like. That's what they were trying to do. They were
No,
trying
I
to do
said it. Yeah,
everything to get them to lose, and that's why I am. I know people sit up there and say about being realistic fans, but why do we sit up there and think that this team, well, some people think that this team, all they're gonna win is 5 games. When there were so many fucking games, there were more games that
they
they
could
were
have had.
winning
They could
last
have had
year.
10
7,
wins
right?
last year.
7 games.
Yeah, they
7
could have had
games
10
within
total
one
wins
score?
last year of close
Yeah.
games.
They were
7
in so
games.
many fucking games last year. So what makes you think that they can't sit up there and have 9 wins?
They went
10
head to
wins,
head with Philly. They
possibly
went head to
11
head
Hey,
with
wins.
Philly.
hey, Jeremy.
Well, the team definitely did get better. And if you do look at it, you know what Roquan Smith got.
Wonder
He
if there are
got
any
$20
pilots.
million bucks. $20 million he got. We gave TJ Edwards, Edmonds, and Sanborn under $20 million on the cap
No,
this year
it was combined between all three. It was 24. So it was a little above 20.
against the cap.
Yeah. Because
I could have sworn it was
Edmonds,
under.
you're not Edmonds. Fuck, I always forget the
No,
name.
it's
Two
Trevon
from
Edmonds
Buffalo.
got about
Wayne
17.
Edmonds
Yeah, it was
and
like 17,
TJ
17 and a
Edwards.
half you got.
You counting the signing bonus?
No, I'm talking about just contract.
No, signing bonus doesn't go against the cap.
Yeah, it doesn't. I
Right,
believe
well, no, I was just
combined
making
between those
sure.
three, it was 24 million. But still, 24 million for three
No,
compared to
but
just
look,
one.
because of the caliber of players that we got for the 24.
Jeremy's still going,
Absolutely.
man. Jeremy's still going in this one. But if you all play good. If we
No,
should
'cause
get
Matt
stream
Eberflus,
like
he's
that,
Coach
though.
Emoji. He don't really,
Hey, what he say? He said, you may run like Mays, but you hit like
Like
shit.
shit.
I wish we could have a coach like that, actually. Or when he
Hey,
goes up
Jeremy
the
is
door.
on. Hey, nice catch, Bayless. Don't ever fucking do it again.
Yeah, I remember the Dorn one too. He was like, "Come on, Dorn, get in front of the damn ball."
He said, "What's this Olay crap?"
And then, or somebody comes up to him with a contract, he just pulls it, whips it out, and pisses on it.
No, Dorn was like, he brought him his contract. And he
Yeah.
whipped him, he pisses on it. Like, Major League.
I wish we could have a coach like that. That'd be
No,
so.
you know what? We need to get some Major League highlights for this.
Ooh, that is good. I'm gonna look some of that
That's
shit.
solid.
Get some of the other highlights that nobody uses up on it.
But Mike, I wanted to ask you one more question because I have to be this guy. I have to be the devil's advocate. Let's say we do win between 7-8 games, 7-9 games, right? Who's on the clock now?
What do you mean? Who's on the clock?
Is it because Poles is gold, right? He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he's staying.
Do we look at
Okay.
Getsy? Do we look at Williams? Do we look at Eberflus?
Wait, are you saying if they do get 9 wins?
No,
Well,
if we only get, because there's a lot of people that are picking the Bears to go to the playoffs this year, like a lot.
I just want to see progression.
I'm
yeah,
just saying,
I'm with you.
progression
It
is-
depends on
progression is
progression
progression.
and play. It just depends. If everybody's doing their job, I believe nobody might be on the chopping block. I don't think Eberflus will be on the chopper block. Maybe Williams if he can't get that defense together.
He needs
You
to
know what I
blitz a
mean?
little more. He needs to blitz some more. I'm just saying.
Yes, I'm with you on that for sure. I've tell all my fans, I think it's a couple-year process. We've made a lot of moves within the last couple years. I don't see him making them a few other moves. I just don't see him doing that. I see him, let's keep rolling forward unless something really damaged. If the defense really sucks, yeah, get rid of the defensive coordinator for sure.
Yeah.
But
I actually flip that more to the offensive side. If Fields doesn't progress and he doesn't look as good as we want him to look, Getsy might be the one.
But see, that's the thing. He can progress with his fundamentals and everything. But if we're talking about production on the field, that could be play calling.
Yeah.
If
We sucked at play calling last year.
If he's still
That's
doing the
because we were
balance attack
tanking.
with the wide receiver screen, like, dude, wait, what? Why? No, what is it? Foul? Curl, flat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why? Come on, man.
The one thing that made Matt Nagy look good is he did do a lot of curls.
definitely. I got a question for all you guys on the panel. Obviously, we know we got a little bit more money to spend to get on league rules. Who do you guys think that'll be? Do you think it'll be on defense, offense? You guys got a name in mind? I know that you said Frank.
I actually have two names, but go. I'll let everybody else go.
I do like defense, and I do like defensive ends, and would like Frank here. I would love Frank Clark here. I mean, I would still what's his name from Washington to find out exactly what Chase Young, yes. Like just to see the offers on it. I mean, I'm not paying him big money. Another guy, you just don't know if he's going to stay healthy. I know love my guy on there who's overseas right now in the military right now, but we argue all the time about this, where he's saying we need defensive ends. This is horrible. Poles is garbage. It's like, I understand you're pissed and you're annoyed that we haven't found a defensive end, but we are not at a point to overpay for a Khalil Mack caliber player. We are not there yet. All right, maybe after this year we go out and get a Khalil Mack type caliber player where we're going to overpay somebody and hopefully he gives us what we want. But we're not there yet. And I'm fine because there's at least 2, maybe 3 very damn good defensive ends out there that are going to get cut from their team probably for contract issues because they have to get under the cap. I would take a run.
I like the Clark thing. The Young thing kind of mind boggles me because we got to, obviously he's under contract still. We got to give something for him.
2. You got to get 2.
Yeah, that's what they asked. They said they wanted a 2nd round pick for him. And I don't know if I don't think I'd give that up.
Don't get me wrong. He's 24 years old.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of career ahead of him. He's young. I just don't think they're going to make a move on an injury guy.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely don't think Poles is going to do that.
Let me break that down a little bit longer. A little bit further, because if I'm not mistaken, they want a 2nd round pick, but we have 2 2nd round picks, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So if you were to give him the 2nd round pick, but we absorb the contract that he's already under, I would like to have Chase Young on a 1-year prove-it deal with some incentives, right? I'm not just going to give him based upon that's what Washington gave you. We're absorbing the contract. You out here looking like dog shit. I'm not going to do that.
Pernell McPhee Jr. I don't want another Pernell McPhee type person, and that's what I'm afraid of when it comes down to Young.
It did. It backfired in our face.
Yeah, that's what I see when I see Young. And
now,
I would
rather. Actually, who I got is an unknown. Person I got is who we don't know that's gonna get cut.
Well, June 1st already happened, so it's some more coming. But the original people that we knew was going
but that's what I'm saying. I think that's what Poles is doing. Poles is playing his card tight. He's waiting to see if there's gonna be a surprise cut, like somebody sit up there and cut DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. So I think that's what he's just doing. That's why I'm not worried about Yagankwe and Frank Clark and all that, because I put it to you like this. If teams were really knocking down that door trying to get these guys have been signed already. Yeah. I think he's going to sit back, wait till all these official cuts go down, see if somebody worthwhile gets cut, and then I think he's going to make his move.
I think.
Correct. Before you go, JB, Houston's under contract still with Kansas City. We would have to make a trade for him, though, wouldn't we?
Yes, for Justin.
Yeah, and I think he's still got 1 more year only.
It's only Frank Clark from Kansas City that did not get re-signed. He's like a legit free.
Yeah, Houston's still under contract.
Clowney. It's him, Clowney.
There's another name right there that you just said. And I know a lot of people.
I can't think of his name right now. Melvin Ingram, right, from the Chargers. Isn't Melvin Ingram available? I think I read.
Yeah.
Melvin Ingram. Not a bad player. Melvin Ingram.
No, it's better than what we have. That's the key thing. It's better than what we have.
Anybody said it's better than what we have.
For sure.
You did bring up Clowney, and I'm sorry. I'm not against them bringing in Clowney to be a rotationary type defensive end. I'm not. It's not going to hurt you. It's a 1-year deal. You're not giving them a lot of money. I just don't see how it's going to hurt anybody. Because
I don't think it's going to hurt, but we still need that power. We need that starter.
We do.
I'm not knocking Clowney in the rotational. We just need that starter.
Yes.
That's just
I'm not saying
opinion.
He's your most important piece, Clowney, but I wouldn't mind bringing him in.
Cheap 1-year prove-it deal.
He's definitely got to be on a prove-it deal because he don't play more.
There's no question. You wouldn't give him any more.
Like the first thing that I would put in his contract is you must play 16 games. I'm not even giving him.
Well, we did sign Walker for 8 or 9, and he's not a starter.
Well, remember he came off, but we knew what he was coming from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And we're just thrusting him in a position because he
was pretty much a rotationary type guy.
He was, and he's fresh. The thing that I have, like I said, with Clowney is everywhere Clowney goes, he'll make
And
like
Rock said it perfectly too, and I agree. You don't know what it's going to be, but if he's going to come at, it's not worth not picking up the phone call because nobody's going to freaking pay him a lot of money. He's not going to get a long contract, a lot of money by anybody because he hasn't earned it. He hasn't done a damn thing.
They won't, but see, Frank, here's the reverse caveat of that. You'll wait. Next thing you know, it's July. We get deep in the training camp. It's all. Then somebody like Buffalo will be like, he's the missing piece.
It's a good point. And then you bring in a guy who doesn't care about football, who's probably not in shape.
Give him $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, fully guaranteed just for this one season to go for a Super Bowl. That's probably what he wants. We don't want that here. We want somebody who wants to come in, mentor, put in work, and build. Not somebody who's looking for a quick payday because we got a lot of money. Like that's not like that's old. That's Ryan Pace. We need to continue to stop doing what they used to do in the past. We need to go into the 21st century and get some people that actually want to damn it be here, for one. And for two, produce. I was talking to somebody just rambling about football, and they said, would you bring Leonard Floyd back? And I said, you know what? The Leonard Floyd that we had is not the same Leonard Floyd that produced in LA. And I said a lot of the reasons, because he had 29 sacks in 3 years. The reason he did a lot is because of Aaron Donald and them boys in front of him.
Thank you. Glad you said it. Because when Aaron Donald went down, look up the stats, everyone who loves him.
He had one sack.
Zero. He had one quarterback hit.
Hit. That's what it was.
He had one quarterback hit every game that Donald did not play.
And I was like, you got to read in between the lines, Mike, and do a little bit of research. You can't bring that guy back just because you saw the stats.
That is something Pace would have done.
There you go.
That is something.
What you were saying about production, my addition is, I think, I'm not saying he's gonna, but I think it'll be Yannick for $10 million. And I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna throw one more player in there that's got records, that wants to play for Chicago. He lives in Chicago. He does everything in Chicago, and that's Robbie Gould.
Well, we've already talked about
Everybody wants Robbie Gould back. I don't understand why the hell it hasn't happened yet.
Right. I mean, who misses 7 extra points? I'm sorry. Extra points is a chip shot. And Santos, sorry. Not worth it. Gotta go.
The extra point, but he'll hit that same yardage on the regular field. Like, I don't
know if people just don't think about it.
I've loved Robbie Gould. He was a construction worker. He was a walk-on during, back in the day when they said, hey, we're having tryouts, let's bring him on. And, man, he made it. And he made the best of it. And he's literally the highest score points for Chicago.
And my guy, Paul Ettinger, didn't miss any extra points either.
We need him definitely back. Definitely. And we'll advocate for that. My pick, like you already know, I would love to have Frank Clark, somebody of that ilk. I would call Calais Campbell, but I want to know, what are you looking for? Because Calais Campbell probably wants to win a championship. I would call JJ and be like, hey, what you want to do?
JJ wants to come here. It's sad.
But
he wants to. He loves Chicago.
The other player that I would kick the tires on, feel me on this for a second before you judge, I would call Eric Fisher. Remember, Eric Fisher was the number 1 pick in Kansas City. Went to the Super Bowl, blew his knee out. Now he's 2 years removed. He's back, but he's not. As last I looked, he's not signed. To me, that's the veteran swing tackle that we might need to light a fire under Braxton Jones. I'm just saying. I like. How do you turn that Eric Fisher down?
No.
If he's willing to come here, Pro Bowler, first round pick, killer. He just got hurt.
Yeah, those are injuries suck, especially
for Kansas City, because Kansas City had gave him some money
But that's a keen injury to come back on this fucking field condition too, though. Let's not forget that either. A lot of people
But
with
now
bad
you're
lower
talking about
back.
somebody
Especially for a big guy.
you're talking about somebody that's beyond the injury now.
Yeah.
And still young enough to come in here and anchor, because the same thing that they wanted Alex Leatherwood to do, like, okay, forget him. Let's see what Fish can do. It doesn't cost you anything.
Leatherwood's still on the roster, actually?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Leatherwood, is he?
Yeah, he is. He is.
What is Dozier? Is Dakota Dozier still on
I think I think Kramer is.
Yeah.
No, keep Doug Kramer. Because Doug Kramer didn't get a chance to show.
Right.
Because of his injury. Like, I think we got something with Doug Kramer. Like pump your brakes on Kramer. I'm gonna keep Doug Kramer.
Yeah, absolutely. You're keeping.
I'm gonna get rid of Lucas Patrick eventually. I'm gonna keep Doug Kramer.
Whitehair still makes a lot of money, so you don't know how
$9 million. It's $9 million, but still.
Well, you said Kramer didn't get a chance to show.
Kramer
Yeah.
No, he tore his ACL. Didn't he tear his ACL? Well, no, it wasn't ACL. What did he do?
Training camp, I thought, right?
Was it his ACL?
Well, shit.
I don't remember what it was. I hope it wasn't his ACL, but he was out for the year.
If he didn't get a chance to show shit, let's show a commercial real quick. That's what we need to show.
Oh, we gotta pay more bills.
Gotta pay them bills.
Let me find.
Then you pay my bills.
Pay it.
Pay my telephone bill. Get your
it.
Hey, I wonder, do they got them come in green? Because you know my man Grogu be liking that type of stuff, don't you?
Do they sell these in Grogu size?
Hey, they might. You
We'll
want
have
one?
to check. We'll have to check that out.
Hey, Fal, you get that Jedi beige.
Yeah, get that Jedi beige going, man. For my man Grogu over here. Yeah. Grogu.
And Rock Liggins, thank you for chiming in, brother. Hey, you're right. I am not a fan of Jadeveon Clowney currently. To me, he gives you that Mario Williams vibe. Like, I done made my money. I don't give a damn about football no more.
Now Mario Williams was actually good when he first got paid that first year.
I just look at Clowney if you take a gamble on for low money.
Mario Williams was good for a half a second in the Texans. Then he was good for a half a second in Buffalo. Then you didn't hear from him anymore.
Oh, we'll have to look that up. I thought Justin Houston still had 1 year left on his Chiefs contract.
Wait, say that again?
He says Spectruck says that Justin Houston is a free agent and the market value is $5 million a year. I'd pay him $5 million a year.
Is he an unrestricted free agent?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's a
Can they
UFA
match
and
it?
there's
Yeah.
an RFA.
That's a good question.
That
Yeah,
matters.
Check that out.
Because we don't want to owe Kansas City nothing.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like they need.
All right, fellas, I want to say thanks for letting me come on, man. It was a pleasure. I got to get going.
I know you sound
Mike,
you to go.
Get some shout outs. Tell us where
tell us where everyone to find you.
Can find you.
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Mike the Bear Fan. I have my own page. I do my own podcast. It's House Hall Report. I've been doing it for about 6 years now. I got, quite a few people on there. I got Billy Defense Flores that comes on there sometimes. I got Bear Mysterio. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, pretty much every platform out there I'm on. I do shows on Wednesdays and Sunday mornings.
Yes, sir.
Yep, definitely have to tune in, everyone.
Hey, Mike, we'd like to thank you for coming on to the show.
We catch you on Wednesdays, Mike.
It was great content. Hey, we would love to have you back again, brother.
Yeah, just let me know when, man. Like I said, as long as it's not on Wednesday night, I'm pretty open.
Okay, appreciate it, brother.
Perfect.
Bear down.
Take care, man.
Night. Bear down.
Bear down.
That was Mike, the Bears fan right there. The minute he's still with us. God damn it. Yeah, slacking.
Bullets did say it does show that he is an unrestricted free agent.
Okay.
So no, that's perfect.
Yeah, I would take him. I don't know. I didn't even know that.
Take a flyer. Like, what are we?
Yeah,
See,
for $5 million a year, absolutely. I'd maybe even sign up for 2 years at only $5 million a year.
I would go 2. That's chump change.
Yeah, for sure.
That's chump change. Like,
I was just like, dude, I was literally just thinking to myself, where is the mom of the podcast? But I haven't heard her on here.
Right.
oh no, she been texting earlier.
So she was lurking because I think this was her first comment. L for love, though. L for
She
love.
been texting earlier.
Well, let's get into some small little hawk talk and then get to some shout outs.
Ooh, I could get. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say before we do that, if we look in the chat, my man Rock Liggins stated, if you scroll up, he said Sean Merriman was the same way.
Oh, Sean Marion got caught with using fucking drugs too.
But that was later, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
No, when his performance started going down, that's when his ass was tested positive.
That's what I'm saying. That was later on.
He was popping X-Lax like it was Skittles.
No, he was on something else. But my point was this: God rest his soul, because we always, pick up our fallen brothers. Sean Merriman is who I wanted the Bears to draft when we drafted Cedric Benson on that Super Bowl run.
I don't think I am.
Shit, they could have
It would
drafted.
have been Sean Merriman, Brian Urlacher, and Lance Briggs. Come on, talk to me now.
That would have been a dominant linebacking core. That's a mean-ass linebacking core.
Nice. And Hunter, you know me, I love Hunter Hillenmeyer. He did his thing. But Sean Merriman.
Merriam over Hillenmeyer wouldn't have been that would have been a terrible.
Yes, thank you, Dobbsy34. Love Merriman. Merriman come from Maryland. Like, a lot of people didn't even know. Like, he was balling. Like, Sean Merriman was one of them guys. And we passed on him. The Bears are like linebacker U, and we passed on him for 7.
Oh, come on, Jeremy. You had to get into my shout-outs, you dick.
When we had Thomas Jones already.
That was going to be my shout-out, too, Jeremy. Way to blow it for me, dude.
He didn't blow it for you. You the one chose to put it up.
That's true. Nobody could see it until I put it up. I'm the dumbass now. All right. I'm going to get my little hawk talk in with my shout-outs. How about that? Kill 2 birds, 1 stone right there. All right. So we had the Stanley Cup playoffs going on yesterday. Great. I wouldn't really say a great game. Vegas absolutely destroyed Florida. But Connor Bedard was on the panel. And he was with Wayne Gretzky, a couple of other Hall of Fame type players. He little jokes, making fun of people. Nice to have somebody with a personality as well. But he put himself out there, which is nice, because there has been a lot of speculation going on by butthurt fans who weren't able to get Connor Bedard on their team. So they're making up stories, spreading it around by saying Connor Bedard doesn't want to play for Chicago. Connor Bedard said that he is going to play 1 more year in juniors just because he doesn't have to play for the horrible franchise, which is the Chicago Blackhawks. Like all this stuff going on like crazy, saying he might pull a Lindros on draft day where he says, well, the Blackhawks drafted me, but I'm not going to accept the contract. I'm not going to play for them. So, and yes, you can do that stuff. That has happened before. It happened in football. Who did that happen with?
Eli Manning and
I remember that. It happened with Eli. It happens in hockey too.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers was the other one. Yeah. Okay. But going back to that, Connor Bedard came out and he said, listen, to all the things that are going out there right now, and I don't usually want to be the person who says a name, but Blackhawks got the number 1 pick. If the Blackhawks draft me at number 1, you have no idea how ecstatic that I'm going to be and how happy I'm going to be for playing such a dynamic organization and fan base as Chicago. So I would love if that happens.
Original 6, baby.
Yeah, and since that happened, like literally social media has just shut the hell up all day. It was so nice. So kudos, Connor. Thank you on that one. He had no intention of saying no to the Chicago Blackhawks, to all those butthurt Canadians who couldn't get him on their team.
Well, we know you love him.
Hello, Canada.
No, goodbye, Canada.
Oh, yeah. Peace, Canada. All right. So that is my lovely little hawk talk. And getting into a shout out, and I had to put it up congratulations to Liam Hendricks, who came out to close his first game after beating cancer. Kudos on that one. Kudos to the Chicago White Sox, man. Like, I think that's now 7 out of their last 9 games that they have won, and they swept Detroit and they took out the Yankees.
So that should be 5 in a row?
Yeah, they're half a game. They're half a game out of third place now, and I think they're only a game out of second place. And they were one of the worst teams in baseball. Like,
I think that division has 3 teams that are under 500.
It is a very weak division this year, which is good for the White Sox to come back. And then we will lead it into the chat. Chat was lit, start to finish. One thing I am going to bring up, and we didn't get time to talk about it, and I'm going to tell everybody to go to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast page and let me know if you still want in. We are looking to have a fantasy football league for the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. And from what I'm seeing right now, we already have at least 20 people that want to play. So we'll have separate brackets and everything. If we get more than that, we're going to have a couple of other brackets. But our boy on here, our guy, where is he? He talks a lot and I can't find him. Antonio, I won't say volunteered because I kind of just told him, please do it. But he's going to be the commissioner because he actually has commissioner experience with it and everything. And I will help you and everything as well, my man. So if you still want in, we already have at least 20 plus people, but we will take more. If you want in, put it on the podcast page. I'll add you to the list. And we will kind of look to maybe try to do a fantasy football live draft on the show, possibly too. I think that'd be kind of fun and cool. And if you don't make it, then it'll just be an auto draft for you. You just do it like that. Other than that, a chat. Antonio, Jeremy, Dobbsy, Janita showed up a little late. Happy you got on, though. That's all that matters. Rock Liggins. Has Rock been on?
That's a new one for me, friend.
Yeah, that's a first name for me, Rock. I'm happy to have you on.
Welcome.
Bullets, the podcast mom, JB's mom. Always love seeing you chime in. I'm sorry if you chimed in early. I don't know how I could have missed it. That was the first time I heard her comment. Trey 5. Yeah, and damn, yeah, a lot of people again. So kudos, Grogu, you my man. You guys always love being on here on Tuesday nights. That's all I got.
JB.
Let me go next. I'm gonna just echo what Frank said in the chat. First of all, shout out to Mike the Bear fan. Mike hosts his own Hallis Hall podcast. We can catch Mike on Wednesdays, Fridays. Mike has a lot of insight. Just a good dude, comes on and talks to us. We share, content and everything. Check Mike out. Great content on his page. And he's on Facebook. Well, you just missed it. Shout out to my brother from another. Shout out to Bullets, who's been with us from start to finish today. Always.
So he's a LeBron James fan and a New York Yankees fan, and I still fucking love this guy. Like, I mean, how does that happen?
Well, he's more of a Laker fan, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a LeBron James fan too.
I didn't say, but he's more of a Laker fan. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to Trey 5 for sure. Antonio, thank you very much for that. Dobbsy. Brent and Dobbsy was new. Hey, shout out to my man, Harry the Greek.
Oh, Harry, my bad, man. I forgot you. Damn, dude.
Harry, I got to get you on, brother. I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Scott Hopkins came back in. Bullet, come on, man. You know how we do. We locked in for sure. I also wanted to say a special shout out. Don't kill me, guys. Don't kill me. But I want to say a special shout out to Don Burr because Don Burr was a little active today and he was a little agitated. And an agitated Don Burr is good for us.
It's a win.
Don Burr.
I agree, Grogu.
All your Detroit fandom and glory. Thank you for chiming in, brother. We appreciate you. We got to get Don Burr on because, especially when we're in the season.
I was going to say, like, when we have the week against Detroit, it would love to have Don Burr on.
Not just that, but the sheer fact that now, since Fowl has said you got to prove something since Wayne Fox was the coach in 93, I'm looking at what? 10 wins, 11 wins, 12. Detroit got to come with it this season, right? They got to come with it.
Jeremy going at Bullets on that one.
Uh-oh. we got some chat talk.
Get it.
I expected one of my 30-plus year friends. Glad to see you catching on, brother. Good to see you.
Oh, Adam Dobbs. Damn, he just changed his name. All right.
Oh, you changed your name. Okay,
All
guys.
right.
No, okay. No, well, welcome back. Jeanette Johnson, thank you for chiming in. We appreciate the love. Yes, the ladies chiming in. We love that as well. And again, can never say it enough. Shout out to the clubhouse mom, my mom. Miss Sandra to some, Miss Sandra to most, moms to me. Thank you for chiming in.
She's mom to everyone on this show.
Thank you. That's all I got, Val.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone in the chat. Chat was lit tonight. So many different people chiming in and talking about sports with us. We really do appreciate it. And it's a privilege to talk sports with you guys as well. Great insight. So we really do love it. Please continue to watch and like. And don't forget also to subscribe to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Give a shout out to our guest today, Mike the Bears fan.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Mike the Bears fan. You know, he came through, gave us some great insight, stayed with us for shit. What? Damn near
2 hours.
Yeah. So we really do appreciate that. Has to definitely show him some love. Also have to show love to you two fellas. Frank the Tank, JB, to our boy T Nick. I think he's lurking somewhere. He wasn't gonna be on tonight, but he's damn.
I think he said he was out on a business trip, but
yeah.
I almost forgot. Can I say one thing? I don't mean to interrupt you, Val. I would feel very foul if I didn't do this because I had some people reach out to me on Facebook. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. A lot of folks did reach out to me, and I was like, "Oh, they from the podcast." Thank y'all. My birthday was Sunday, and you all made it even more special. Thank you. Thank you to my two brothers right here, which you know how we do. Now we get at it. Thank you. I had to throw that in there.
Right. Shit, we all gonna give a happy belated birthday to JB. Once again, we ain't gonna tell the age, but we will give him a happy belated birthday.
23, baby. 23.
Right. We also give a shout out to one of our guys that's new. Well, he's not new. He's been on for quite some time. He don't talk much. Hell, we can't even understand what the fuck he's saying anyway. My boy Grogu here. I'd like to give him a shout out.
He talks when he has to.
Yeah, he talks.
He knows when he speaks.
Especially when the podcast mom wants to sit up there and say, have to say something.
No, they got their own type of communication.
Right, exactly. So, and don't forget to watch him on the Disney Plus, The Mandalorian.
You gotta get Disney to sponsor us if we're gonna keep talking about this.
Right. Speaking of sponsors, give a shout out to our sponsors. Hugh, In the Zone, Under Armour, Moore's Beer, who has a big event coming up soon. So make sure you get your tickets to the Moore's event ceremony that's coming up. I think they got some type of big time party coming up.
The 16th, a Juneteenth Moore's event, the 16th.
There it is. Moore's. Come check us out. Some of us from the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast will be there. Grogo's using the force. He's letting you know.
The force is going to be at that event.
Hey, Antonio, yes, he's like Little Penny.
I know my lines, fool. Give a shout out to the kiddies. I want to give a shout out to my stepson, Daniel. He had prom. He had graduated just last week.
I saw that.
Congratulations.
On his way to college. So he ain't got to worry about fucking school. Because, shit, he's out of school right now. So, yes, he's free to go. Shout out to my loved ones that were probably on here watching, but don't comment, assholes.
All for love.
Yeah. A for asshole for not commenting, but I love y'all anyway. And matter of fact, just shout out, just want to show love to the city of Chicago, period. Let's put down the guns. Let's stop the violence. and enjoy life while we can, enjoy one another, give each other their flowers while they're still here. So give your loved ones their flowers while we're still here, because one thing that we know that's damn full for sure is that we're not promised here for too long. So
yeah. Hey, I did always hear too, when the Bears are winning, crime rate goes down.
it does.
So hey, Bears,
Oh, that's a real thing.
start freaking winning.
So Eberflus, Poles, Justin, get this winning shit going, because the city loves when we got a winner, and god damn it right now.
We ain't got shit.
That's why crime rate so high. Shit.
It's like we got nothing to lean on anymore.
They got nothing to believe in.
The only one who's close is the Bulls, and that ain't anywhere close.
All right. So outside of that, shit, I'm done with the shout outs. We'd like to thank you for watching the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Tune in next week, next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel. We out. Ain't that right?
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Good night, Alaska.